very good afternoon to you and welcome to UPMC Nolan Park here in Kilkenny for the Electric Ireland Minor Camogie Championship Finals. And of course we get underway at 2:30 with the Minor A Shield decider between Antrim and Laois. Of course Antrim have experience at this level and come away with a victory as well up against Laois County, of course, that are resurgent on camogie fronts, having done so well with their senior team winning the league title recently and also following up with some good success at under 16 and under 18 level as they are here today, of course, contesting this Minor A Shield final. Antrim, of course, not without success, having got over blips that would have happened last year at senior level, claimed that Division 1B title, have their seniors, of course, in an Ulster final, Ulster semi-final, I should say, today, and then going quite well at under 16 level as well. So two counties that are doing quite well at camogie level. Will be interesting to see how it ultimately plays out. Will there be a minor All-Ireland title resting in Antrim or Laois this evening? Well, we'll find out in and around 10 to 4 or thereabouts. My name is Killian Whelan and we'll be bringing you the best of the action here from UPMC Nolan Park throughout the rest of the afternoon. Do stick with us. And a very good afternoon to you and welcome live here to UPMC Nolan Park for the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor Camogie Championship A Shield final between Antrim and Laois. Just going through the formalities here at UPMC Nolan Park. Both teams coming together for a handshake. We'll give you the Antrim team then as lines out with no changes. From Carrigan in goal is Orlick Johnson. Then the full back line is made up of Cushendall's Rihanna Black, Carnlaw's Ava Lee and Leona Gillen of Bredina Oga. Then into the half back line where we see Maeve Devlin with the number 5 on her back will be, of course, from St. Paul's. Dunloy's Casey Crawford is at 6 and at 7 is Cushendall's Laura Black. Cushendall are also represented in midfield with number 9 Ava McNeil, and she's alongside star player and one to watch Dunloy's Ava McAllister. Into the half forward line then it's Ballycastle's Cara Delaney, Amy Ferris of Sarsfields and Mary MacArthur of Dunloy. And in then to the full forward line, two Cushendall representatives. Amy McAllister will be in the right corner, Katie McNeil the captain will be at full forward, and Emer McGohan of Ballycastle will be in the left corner. For Laois there is one change that comes in the half forward line where Amy Daly of St. Bridget's comes in for Aveen Steins of Banrian Gales, but the team lines out as follows with St. Lazarian's Grace Fox in goal. That sees Emer Conroy of O'Moores then in the right corner. Julianne Bennett, the joint captain of O'Moores, is at full back, and Clonad Raheen Gales Chloe Troy is in the left corner. The half back line then made up of Sive O'Reilly of the Harps. There are two Nave Eamon players. Ella Phelan will have number 6 on her back. Her mum Deirdre is the FLO, and then Katie Lyons is on her left. At centre field it's Erin Walsh of Camross and Kayla O'Mara of St. Lazarians. The Harps then represented by Emer Murphy and Aoife Kirby, the joint captain, at 10 and 11, and then Amy Daly comes in wearing number 16 from St. Bridget's. And into the full forward line then where Laura Culleton, of course her dad Damien, part of the backroom team, she of Camross will wear 13, and then it's two Nave Eamon players, Emma Jane Cudahy at 14 and Katie Kavanagh at 15. So the formalities going through the action here at UPMC Nolan Park. Management of Antrim, Willie Devlin, the manager, Ursula Lynch, John Paul McLaren and Roisha Morgan. They are the team named and the backroom team here in the programme. And then for Laois it's Dan Phelan, Damien Culleton, Deirdre Moore, Johnny Kirby and Deirdre Phelan, along with Louise Donoghue, Leslie Lawless and Quiva Williams. They are part of the backroom team here for Laois. So I know we have members of the Defence Forces here, the Army in particular, that are here joining us today, adding a little bit of glamour to have their unit outside. showing it off to the public that are here for the game, and you can see them there on camera being picked up, and they are, as I said, coming out here with the provincial colours of the two counties, and obviously the county flags that you can see as well. Joining me in commentary today for both matches, don't forget we are here as well for the big game at 4:30 between Cork and Kilkenny, is Brian Brophy. Brian, always a special day, an All-Ireland final.
Oh yeah, very special for these girls. I mean, they would have started training probably way back in, I'd say, November. Squads getting together, trials, and to get all the way to here today is a very special day for 4 teams involved.
So we just see them going to line up then behind the Army representatives here, the Crow Park crew, just getting the formalities, as we say, out of the way. We're not far from throw-in, but all this taking place as the subs head for the dugouts here down below us. Antrim will be down to our left and Laois to our right hand side. We of course are in Ardán de Gras here, and to our left of course is Ardán O'Gerball on the Hebron Road, and then you have Ardán Brannock that you can see across on the far side where the girls from both teams are venturing off, and then to our right hand side is the City End terrace and the goals of course, as we are here in Kilkenny City, the Marble City, in preparation for the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield final between Antrim and Laois. The referee today, Colin McAllister from Cork. Standby is Liz Dempsey. She didn't have to travel too far, of course, from Kilkenny. And two other men that didn't have to travel too far on the line, Patrick Murphy and Brian Deering, who will be the fourth official for both games down below us here. Brian, from your experiences of both of these sides, I know, you know, with your involvement with Dublin, you have encountered Antrim. I don't know if you've seen too much of Laois, but probably the two teams that are probably the strongest left in the competition ultimately.
Yeah, ultimately they are, because they got here, Killian. I'm not so au fait with Laois. I do know a bit about them. Antrim, yes, we played them in a friendly with Dublin, and I thought that day they would be here today. They did impress me, a couple of players in particular. They won it 2 years ago, then they were relegated, now they're looking to come back up. So, and Laois, should be great to see them make the breakthrough.
So there's formalities to be done with. I suppose all a bit of nerves and everything like that here now, Brian, that these scenarios here, the parade and everything like that, probably a new thing for lots of these girls. It only adds a little bit of tension, I suppose, behind it. They'll be any anxious out to get going here, won't they?
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, they won't have experienced anything like it, and it's the imponderable, especially when you're in management. How will girls perform on, and how will they take the day in, and will they perform to their best?
That's it. So the scenario here is that both teams getting together here now with their managements, and just, I suppose, to not be too unsettled after, as you said, everything, that little parade and everything might be not something that they factor too much in. But anyway, they're up and raring to go here, and Willie Devlin has left it now to his team there to have the word. And then over here we get to see the Laois management are in around the players here, having the final word there coming from manager Dan Phelan, who's out there. So but you know, you'd have to mention as well, Brian, just about these teams. Laois and Antrim have gone through their trials and tribulations, maybe not Antrim as much, but still, you know, Camogie on the up, it would seem, in both counties, with senior teams doing well and underages also.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's what you want at all ages, if you can build it and build it through. I mean, I'm sure Laois senior management will be hoping to get some of these up today and then follow it on. Antrim, as we've already seen, have won the league at senior, and I'm sure their senior management are looking closely at this today to see who are the next girls that are going to come through and add to the squads that they have.
Well, we are here in UPMC Nolan Park. Colin McAllister getting ready, players getting into position. There's a very strong breeze from the city end right down here to the Hebron Road and the O'Loughlin Gales into the ground here, Brian. That could be significant, and Laois have that wind on their back here. Yeah,
Laois are going to have it for the first half.
So it'll be interesting to see how it ultimately starts. And ball is in, and it's the key player for Antrim straight away. It's Ava McAllister. They break, and it's on to Ava McNeil. Quick fire score. Have we got it here in the opening seconds? 7 seconds I have on the clock, and that was definitely planned out there, Brian.
Oh, absolutely planned from the. That's one from the training ground. Brilliant score. What a start.
So Ava McAllister getting on the break and then setting up Ava McNeil. So Dunloy to Cushendall, and it's an early score here in the Marble City. We're after the half-2 mark for this A-Shield final, and it's Antrim that started the brighter here already and putting down a marker to Laois. It's McAllister over on that far side trying to get a bit of a scrum form and call McAllister. Loads of McAllisters here on the peel today, but it's Liz that has judged that is going to be a sideline puck for Laois. That it looks like Laois's number 10 is going to stand over here. Emer Murphy from the Harps, the famed Harps club, of course, of the Mahoney sisters being one. And of course Aoife Kirby talks about in the match programme about her respect of Louise and Elaine Mahoney. She got to play with them, of course, in that club final run that they had there 2 years ago, I'd say, as this ball breaks and Laois deal with it with Aaron Walsh getting it to Ella Phelan. Ellen, of course, it's a family occasion with her mum, part of the management team. There are a number of others as well. We'll tell you about that as the game goes on. Laois somehow get out of that scrum down, get to drive forward with Kayla O'Mara. The St. Lazarian player has been stopped. She has an advantage, and it's going to be a free for Laois. Colin McAllister then. And lots of heavy tussles in the early start here, Brian.
Yeah, I was just thinking before you said it to me. There's certainly physicality on both teams there. Great to see.
So number 10 standing over it, Emer Murphy from the Harps then, about 10 metres in from the sideline over on the far side. Of course, Ardon Brannock has the dressing room entrance that they are occupying, and that's over the bar. The crowd could tell you before that went 2 minutes gone. It's a point apiece. Emer Murphy with a fine score, Brian.
Yeah, sweet strike from Emer. Absolutely. That'll settle Laois down. Great score.
Yeah, well, Laois proven there in some of the tackles early in the last couple of minutes that they're not here just to make up numbers as this ball breaks over here now. Amy Daly is the one that's in there. She's wearing number 16. She came into the team from the start ahead of Evan Steins as this ball is played forward now by Antrim and trying to source out in the corner there Amy McAllister, but that ball is flicked away from her just about by Sive O'Reilly. Another Harps player on this team, but it's Antrim that have got going, and a bit of a loose pass, and Laois have picked it up. Cornerback there, Chloe Troy, tried to send it down the wing from the Clonard Raheen Gales club. Amalgamation there, of course. Clonard not far off of the plaza there in Port Laois that people I'm sure are getting to know over the last number of years, but it's the 8 and 9 that have linked up, and it's this time for McNeil, giving it to McAllister. McAllister set up McNeil, but that ball has gone in to the right and wide. Just a bit of a heavy touch that got away from the Antrim forward there. I think it's Katie O'Neill who that ball was taken away from, and eventually out to the right and wide. A point apiece, 3.5 minutes gone according to clocks here, and it's a point apiece, Antrim and Laois. As you can see, the Electric Ireland Minor A Shield Camogie final as Antrim disrupt the Laois puck out, and Mary MacArthur got it to Ava McNeil. McNeil got the opening score. She's still going and moving in now to Katie O'Neill. The ball has had a strike, and the keeper got to be careful. Referee does, pulling it back as just setting herself there to pick that up was Grace Fox, but the referee said that there was a foul there on Ava McNeil. I think she got that pass away to her captain Katie McNeil, so it's back for a free, and this should be an easy tap over with coming up on 4 minutes gone here. Decent enough crowd over in the stand on the far side here as this is fairly nonchalantly knocked over the bar by Antrim's number 9, and she's got the opening 2 scores here. So puck out then from Laois, trying to find Amy Daly here, and Amy spun very well off of the back of Maeve Devlin there and gets the ball, and Daly is still going. She's made a lot of ground, then a bit of a fly shot at that, but it's maybe going to work out for Laois to still get the touches on. Emma Jane Cuddy gets it to Kayla O'Mara, but it's lost away, and it is McAllister is back there to help out her defence, trying to get it forward here towards the number 11, Amy Ferris. Ferris looked like she fouled the Laois player, but the referee allows the play to continue, and it's Cara Delaney that takes it on board. Delaney more Laois now, but it's high up in Ballycastle at the moment. It is representing Antrim here today, but the ball breaks and it's going to be an opportunity for Antrim to keep driving on here now. Emer McGochran getting it to Mary MacArthur, the two left side of the forwards linking up now, and eventually MacArthur gets that ball in, but as Fox thought about coming, thought about not coming, eventually made up her mind and gives it out here to her cornerback Chloe Troy. Troy loses it though, needs a bit of help, and she's surrounded by the saffron and white there. The opportunity there, still battling it out, both the full-back and the cornerback, and eventually Katie gets in there, and she did very well. She never gave up on it, Brian, and eventually worked that ball over the bar. Lee should have dealt with that better.
Yeah, Chloe Troy, she dillied and dallied, and eventually her pocket got picked and it's gone over the bar. Really one Lee should have cleared.
Antrim now with 2 on the bounce, 3-1. Amy Daly seems to be the one that from the puckouts that they're targeting, but it's again the lady has got 2 scores for Antrim. Ava McNeil that gets on the ball and tries to play a diagonal ball across the far side of the field, but Leisha's number 8 Erin Walsh picks it up from the famed Camross Club, tries to get it to Neve Eamon's Katie Lyons leaves it behind her, and it's going to be driven on by the star player for Antrim, Ava McAllister. She's the one to watch, down on top of McNeil. Ball breaks away from both, and an opportunity maybe might work out here for Emer McGochran. McGochran goes in, shortens the grip, puts it over the bar, and at the moment, Brian, those Antrim forwards causing Laois all sorts of problems. Yeah,
all sorts of problems. They're in trouble in the full back line, and really O'Neill and McAllister in midfield, I think, are going to be the rock for Antrim. You know, they're on top and they're able to feed their forwards.
4 points to 1 on the scoreboard there. So ball breaks down the far end.
That's a great ball.
And Laois have got it through here. Missed hit on the shot there by Emer Murphy. I think she was thinking of the score before, maybe had left the hurl.
Yeah, she should have went on with it. She had a chance of a goal.
She had at least it might work out here. The break off of an Antrim hurl, shortening the grip on this side. That's a lovely score. Make it up from an Antrim mistake. And Laois have narrowed the gap now. Double scores, 4 points to 2. And it's a fine score to Hickman Laois. Amy Daly seems to be, you know, for a player that's come in, Brian, she's very, very busy out there. Seems to be a target player, and she set up the opportunity there for Laura Culleton.
Yeah.
Chance come. It nearly worked out there for Laois. Antrim dillying and dallying here now. Now there's a bit of an overlap. Laois have players there. Antrim got to be careful, trying to break out of it there. Ava Lee eventually gets a bit of help from her cornerback, Leona Gillan, and she gets that ball over the far side. But there's Ava McAllister trying to get this ball clear, but Laois getting in and blocking that ball. 7.5 minutes gone. Electric Ireland. It's really proven electric here at the minute now. It's starting to open up into a right little game so far as Antrim come buzzing down the field with Amy first. The Sarsfields player has a player inside her, McNeil, which she elects to. It's gone all the way to the net. Gone all the way to the net. She could have offloaded it to a number of different players. McNeil was looking for it at midfield, and also Katie McNeil inside in the forwards, but the ball dropped all the way to the back of the net. Unfortunate for poor old Grace Fox there, but that ball it was at the type of height, Brian, that could cause problems.
Yeah, obviously the goalie probably thinks she's going to stick it over, but she got caught sleeping. And it's in the back of the net.
Back of the net, 1-4 to 2.
Did we see it? Well, here's
an opportunity now for Laois. If they could have got the pass off. They had 2 players inside. If that pass had got off, and you would fancy there were a 2-on-1 situation with the goalkeeper.
There's at least 3 occasions now where Laois have had a spare player inside. There's scores there for them, but they're just not completing the pass.
Back out into the hands of their full forward now, turning on to her left hand side. Emma Jane Cuddy puts that ball over the bar, and that's, in fairness, Brian, a good response after that fortuitous goal.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, really, if the pass goes through, they have a chance of getting the goal. The score's there for Laois, I think, in that Antrim full back line.
So as we said, that goal just fell a little bit short, and the chance for Laois has narrowed the gap, as we said, to 1-4 to 3. Driving forward, though, are Antrim being urged on by the decent crowd that's come down to support them here. Obviously a busy enough day as well. They're hurlers playing action against Kilkenny this afternoon in the Leinster Championship, but All-Ireland final title to be won here at minor level. Won it 2 years ago. It went up to A, got relegated, and now back in the Shield final here are Antrim. Turning, lovely, and away she goes as Emer McGochran already has a point to her name. Has she got a second? She has. That's a fine score there, Brian, and we're still worried about that Laois full back line.
Yeah, she's just too much pace, you know, for Chloe Troy. The Laois management, I'd be looking at that. You know, she's able to run out, turn, go around her, stick it over.
No movement yet. It's kind of letting play out as Antrim are making light of the fact that they're playing into that strong wind into the city end terrace, and doesn't seem to be affecting the balls that they're playing forward. Here's the goal score. As we said, it was fortuitous, but she gives it off now to Katie McNeil, also on the scoreboard here as she moves out onto the top of the D. 3 Laois players around her. Eventually one of them gets a touch on it to knock the ball away. Laois, of course, victorious in a semi-final against Kildare by 2-9 to 1-10. Kildare were in a right ding-dong battle with Antrim as well, 3-11 to 1-16. That's who we're measuring it against. Both these teams have gone into battle with Kildare. Both have got 1-point victories, so it should be a tight game, we'd imagine, but Antrim are the ones that have got off to the start here, 1-5 to 3. No question about it. That is a foul on one of the point scorers for Laois, Laura Culleton there, as she went down on that ball, and it's going to be a free in. It was a foul by Rihanna Black standing over this Emma Jane Cuddy. Drops this ball in, and surprising with the wind, it didn't get a great connection on it, so it dropped short. But it's the Antrim defence out trying to lord it over there. Looked like a foul off the ball as play went on, but Laois have won the ball back. That's a decent ball across. An important touch from the Antrim full back Ava Lee, because that was going to sit right into the hand, but there's still a chance here. Somehow that ball has crept in at that post, and it's Murphy that's got the goal. She's definitely the go-to player for Laois, Brian, but how did she squeeze that in?
She squeezed it in, but I mean, she just picked Laura Black's pocket. The ball just flipped up and she said thanks. And one thing on our mind, back of the net.
And now we're just probably starting to ask questions of the Antrim full back line, that when Laois get at them, they're causing them a few problems too. 1-5, 1-3 here. Yeah,
I think both teams have problems in their full back line. I said it earlier. Laois could have had 3 times they'd players inside free. Ball didn't get there. And they've
good sideline cup, but there's no Laois player there to be able to get it.
Spare player.
As we said,
and a Black off free out.
I also think before that goal, Brian, you have to give credit to Kayla O'Mara. She was the one that won the ball out of the ruck down here, that got it across, that caused a few problems before it ended up with obviously Murphy putting it into the back of the net.
Yeah, well, I mean, Antrim, a little bit, their own downfall. They give away an Eilidh free, badly hit. Then they have it in the corner, they get picked, ball goes across. She's robbed and it's in the back of the net.
Yellow card there for Katie Kavanagh. Didn't see the offence, to be clear, but Colin McAllister was quite adamant it was a yellow card. So 1-5, 1-3. Both full forward lines are definitely asking questions of both full back lines as Laois have turned over the ball there. 12 and a half minutes gone. We've seen a lot of action in those opening bits, and we thought that Antrim looked like they're in danger of heading out the gap a little bit, but Laois have come roaring back and have got a goal. And here's Amy Daly, one of the stars in this Laois team early on, giving a lovely ball. Miss it again there by Kayla O'Mara. It's just a pity because chance could have come begging, but Laois getting in on top of the goalkeeper now, and she's got to be careful, and she is. Orla Johnson finding position over here on this side of the field. Lovely flick on there from the wing back Maeve Devlin to be able to, or I should say Laura Black, to be able to get the ball into the hand of Mary MacArthur. MacArthur over to a player that's in a little bit of space. Chance to keep recycling now here. Diagonal ball. It's a bit like military, fiddling enough with the army here with us today. They're playing military ball from left to right here, and it's a star player, Emer McGahern. It's getting on it. She's 2 already. That's a fantastic effort, Brian. She had so much work to do and was able to pop that ball over the bar. She definitely trusts her ability from about 30 metres out.
She just flicked her wrists from the left and over the bar. That's as good a score as you'll see all day long here. Brilliant
3 points to her name. 6, 10 and 14 for Emer McGahern. And people might have been saying that Antrim might rely an awful lot on McAllister in middle of the field, but there's definitely others that are stepping up here today, and Laois though have a few that are stepping up also. Here's the lady who has a yellow card to her name, but she's quite busy. Niamh Eamons, Katie Kavanagh trying to get forward, lost the ball, she's not able to win it back there on the bounce, and back there to get things moving from an Antrim point of view. Ava McNeil got the opening score of the game after just 7 seconds, gets that ball forward now, and it's McAllister that booms onto this, looking for maybe go for her own score. That'll be some score into the wind down at the city end, but it's gone to the left and wide. It's only Antrim's second wide. 1-6, 1-3. Into the 15-minute. Poor puck out from a Laois point of view because MacArthur is there to win it back, giving it to McGahern. McGahern getting inside try. Easy does it, pops it up and over the bar, And she really is having a day of it that the Laois management may have to think of a change there.
Yeah, I definitely they've done it. As you said, Killian, the cornerbacks have swapped over. And they were a bit slow with it, to be fair.
Yeah, Chloe Troy and Emer Conroy have switched positions in to see can they curb Emer McGochran, who at the minute who's causing all sorts of problems, as Antrim returned that puck out from the Laois goalkeeper. That was Rihanna Black sending it long, looking for someone there on the half forward line, but it's Laois that have turned it over and coming out with it. Good drive from their midfielder Erin Walsh from the Camross Club. Lovely ball inside. Laois have players over. Antrim defence marked absent. Ball is still in possession. It's the number 15 stepping around. She hit it straight at the keeper. You would imagine if Katie Kavanagh had stepped to her right, Brian, that was in the net.
He stepped or batted it. She didn't either. She just went straight into the goalie. What a chance for Laois.
And Laois, again, you'd have to say the Antrim full back line out about 30 metres out from their own goal. They're living dangerously back there, Brian.
Yeah, they are. They're out too far. They're leaving too much grass in behind them, and then they're leaving Laois players in behind them.
So 3 opportunities I count, I think, Brian, that Laois in the opening quarter could have had goal opportunities, at least points anyway, out of them, because of the Antrim defence, how far out the field they are playing. But they obviously feel they have the gas below at the other end to be able to see this game over and done, as winning the ball over on the far side, corner forward, Amy McAllister coming in and knocking the ball up for her own score over the bar. That's a fine score and a fine response from them.
Yeah, great score again. She's just gone by the Laois player on the run over the bar. I think Laois need to make a change in their full back line.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like that may have to happen. Even though that switch has happened, it now it just has moved the problem.
Oh, great block.
All the full forward line for Antrim have now scored. Ball is battling in the middle, and unfortunately, Laois player number 8, Erin Walsh, has come out the worst of that challenge in there on Ava McNeil. And we'll have a little bit of a stoppage. 1-8-1-3 though, and as we said, the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield final between Antrim and Laois, a title that Antrim won 2 years ago, and aiming to get back up again into A Championship level. Don't forget, we'll have that A final on a separate streaming link, so if you are a Camogie fan and you're watching today, you can catch Cork and Kilkenny from 4:30 with us. We'll be on air at about 4:20 or thereabouts. Apologies, it's the same link. Normally we would break, it's the same link, so thanks to Luke and Owen here doing the needful in the back, so you can stay on the link. We will be here. Thanks to Electric Ireland, of course, bringing you the coverage here today. So, break down at the minute, just making sure that Erin Walsh is okay. Laois warming up a few subs indeed, and as you said, Brian, they may have to think about changes in the defence at the minute.
Yeah, I think they need to make a change at corner back, unfortunately.
Ball played forward to McGochran now. She's been marked this time by Emer Conroy. Is it the same result? No, she snatched at that one a little bit, and that's gone out to the right and wide. They are playing into a very strong wind. They've been down on pitch side. It is quite strong. We're high up here in the gantry, and we're a good few feet over the action. It's a great position, I have to say, to watch a match as Laois pop a ball in over the top again now. Maybe an opportunity for Emma Jane Cuddy. Cuddy looks around. Oh, lovely ball inside. Still going for Laois. Another goal. Yeah. Back in the net. Lovely pass across. It was taken in well, hammered to the back of the net by their corner forward there. That was Laura Culleton. She had a point already, got a lovely point, and she banged that to the back of the net. 1-8-2-3. This game has given us everything, Brian, at the minute, and Laois staying in touch here.
Yeah, they're staying in touch. Look, both full back lines are in a world of trouble, and I think both managements need to look at it seriously. This could go anyway.
But a lovely ball again with Cuddy. Played a nice ball across, and Laois have turned that over, and there was a bit of a heavy slap after.
I think she could be...
Colin McAllister is calling over the Antrim player, going to have words, and he's telling Liz Dempsey to bring the ball forward, because that came after the Laois player cleared that ball.
Yes, it was a wild swing by Anya McAllister after the ball had gone. She's a lucky girl.
Ava McAllister getting a yellow card for her name there.
Yeah.
Ava might be little bit frustrated. She probably hasn't had the influence that we've seen her having games in this championship so far. Brian, coming into this final, we've heard an awful lot about her, and obviously a player of the future as well. You don't want to heap too much pressure on her, but she maybe just a little bit of frustration on her part that she's not in the game as such.
Yeah, I agree, Killian. I mean, that looked like frustration to me, but a very, very good player.
Emer Murphy with this opportunity to narrow the gap to just
strike.
one. She puts the ball up and over the bar, and Laois have come roaring back into this game again. A goal and a point in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, at one stage I thought it could go away from them, and now all of a sudden there's only a point in it.
Yeah, well, it looked like getting away at 1-8 to 3, and now it's 1-8 to 2-4. 11 points to 10. Ava McNeil getting forward, looking for the other McNeil inside, standing on the edge of the square, and the ball breaks for McGochran. McGochran going to step inside her player.
Superb.
That's a good tackle. Emer Conroy has been given the job on her, and now she's upset McGochran there a little bit. McGochran with 4 points to her name was thinking of adding a fifth, but some block by Conroy.
Yeah, brilliant cornerback play, exemplary.
Ball down the other end of the field. Laois coming hunting now again. Saffron and white jerseys trying to get there. Blue and white jerseys also over. There's a bit of a scrum forming just over at the entrance to the dressing rooms over there. That's the side of the ground that Antrim and Laois are using. Of course, Cork and Kilkenny will be using the dressing rooms down to our left hand side in behind our Ardon O'Gar ball, as we get a ball to be thrown in here between the two number 9s. Two players that are having big games for both the respective counties. It comes out between the two of them, and it looks like Laois had a touch on it, but it's Ava McNeil went back there to try and win it. Loses her footing on the ground as Laois come in all over, right in front of Liz Dempsey over on that side. Colin McAllister out the other side, watch it, but the ball comes out in favour of the Saffron and White, and they come driving forward. 1-8 to 2-4 to lead, but the ball is left behind by Antrim there as Laois turn it over again with Kayla O'Mara trying to get this ball forward. Ball eventually does get forward, but Antrim have batted it down. A lot of play now between the two 65s at this moment, so someone decides, let's see what play will be like over on the far side of the field. Laois look like they've dropped an extra player back there at the minute. Number 6 Ella Phelan trying to win that ball. She of course has her mam Deirdre as the FLO, knocks the ball forward trying to get Daly on the ball, but Antrim are there trying to get it. Oh, lovely pick up by the number 11 Amy Ferris. Got a goal, of course, a fortuitous enough one that said Antrim on the way, we thought, at 1-8 to 3 points, with the ball knocked forward now. Laois coming charging again. They've got two good goals in this game. Antrim defence are under a little bit of pressure, but that ball came off of the Laois goal scorer Laura Culton's knee, and it's out for a sideline ball marked there by Patrick Murphy, the Carlow official. Colin McAllister, the man in the middle, he's directing traffic over on the far side. Liz Dempsey of Kilkenny, and it's Brian Deering, of course, the Carlow, the fourth official. He'll be the fourth official for both games. The other game coming at 4:30 between Cork and Kilkenny. That ball is kicked out of play by a Laois player, Aaron Walsh, as Amy Daly goes down to try and sort out the laces. Amy of St. Bridget's came in for Yvonne Steins at the start of the game, as Antrim's number 8, Eva McAllister of Dunloy, stands over this ball right down below us here. Hashtag this is major, the famed line, of course, of the Electric Ireland social media over the last number of years. It might be minor, but it is major for both these teams here. This minor A Shield and All-Ireland victory would be a huge boost to both counties. As Laois tried to dig on this ball here, they ain't giving up the ghost at all here, and eventually trying to get down on one knee to roll, lifted up into her hand there. Eventually Laois though have won it back somehow, and it's a nice little ball played down along the wing, but alert to it there is Antrim's number 5 Maeve Devlin of the St. Paul's Club, looking to come up along the wing, but the referee says she was being fouled. It's going to be a free, and you'd imagine it's going to be someone like McAllister is going to lob this ball possibly all the way. She has that potential, but with the wind into her face, I'd say we're looking at this dropping on the edge of the square. So Eva McAllister standing over this ball. 1-8 to 2-4. Antrim haven't scored in a while now. Knocking this ball high, and it's on the edge of the square that it's going to fall, or about the 13 metre line. There we go. And Antrim player getting the hand on it there, but the ball is being lost. Laois player trying to go down over it. There's a bit of a scrum over the top of it. Laois looked like they had it. The full back there, Julianne Bennett, was trying to get in and win it. The joint captain of this Laois team. What would mean to her of O'Moores to be able to lift this trophy. Colin McAllister happy to let it develop, and then it was going nowhere, and he elects to throw it in on the 20 metre line, I would imagine. Management urging the Laois players, make sure you're goal side of this throw in. It's very important, because a bit of a fly at this and all of a sudden could be in someone's hand, and it's McNeil that gets it. She's looking to step away from a couple of Laois players, has a shot, but she's half blocked down. Ball is left behind Conroy. Conroy though recovers well, and the corner back, she seems to have maybe McGochran sorted out for the minute, but it's McAllister now that wins that ball back over on the far side, going for a big high dropping ball in, dangerous ball, batted away, and luckily for Grace Fox it came all the way out to one of her own players on the 20 metre line, Brian.
Yeah, it wasn't convincing from Grace Fox, she got away with it.
Sive O'Reilly gets it forward now. Here's where Laois can cause a bit of damage now. Driving on, it is Emma J. Cuddy settling on the ball, but she never really caught it, and it's going to trickle out for a harmless enough effort after all of that. And if she had looked up, Brian, 2 Laois players inside again.
Yeah, again Laois had players inside. All it needed was a call or a bit of vision from Emma Cuddy. Just pop it inside.
Black over on the far side, trying to get that ball in the direction here of captain Katie McNeil, who's dropped out now, out round the middle, giving it to the number 11 Amy First, who got a goal. Playing it across here, it's the number 12, and that is Mary MacArthur, settling on the ball, putting it over the bar. And it's funny to say it, Brian, it's probably something that they needed.
Yeah, they needed that, but it was a great score. They worked it great. Brilliant ball from Amy Ferris and finished over the bar, but a really good score.
Well, by my notes, I think that's their first point in 9 minutes. So just something to settle the nerves, considering that Laois have got a goal and a point. Don't forget, Laois, it was 1-8-3 at one stage. Laois getting a goal and a point to bring it to 1-8-2-4. Now Antrim getting that, trying to be a bit skillful there without a hurl and doing quite well. Was the Antrim number 11, Amy Ferris, eventually decides to go back and get the hurley because Laois are coming forward with the ball. Looked like a push in the back there on their corner back. And Emer Conroy, seemingly, Brian, at the moment anyway, is winning that battle with McCaughrean.
Yeah, she has the pace to match her. Where the other match-up against the other cornerback, Chloe Troy, and Antrim having the better of it, but not now.
And you were saying Laois also have a player drop back extra in defence.
Yes.
Ball is knocked long. Trying to see who that extra player is, and so that will aid the Antrim defence a little bit, but you wonder though sometimes, Brian, when both full forwards are winning out, should you be better off maybe just going toe to toe here, 15 and 15, or do you see advantageous to Laois in playing an extra player back here? It's curtailed Antrim, I suppose, a little bit.
Well, with the space that was in the Antrim full back line, if I was Laois, I would have stayed 15 against 15 and just changed the matchups. I don't think there's a need, because they have a slight bit of a breeze that's blowing down, and but the space is still there as we look down on the field. There's 2 and 2 inside. The Antrim full back is outside the 45 as we speak at the minute.
Yeah, that's the thing. One long ball inside, having to try and commit here now. Julianne Bennett, Emer Conroy, but there's a chance here for Antrim. They could be in for a goal. It's a bit of a high pass. Fox comes out. She's got to be careful here now. Being surrounded a little bit, it's got to find touch, and that's where she heads for security at the first time, but in fairness, back there to help out Aaron Walsh now trying to turn back inside, but Antrim have numbers there. Ball gets away from MacArthur, but she's an opportunity to turn back on her left hand side, which is her stronger. Looking to step back on her right though, get us pass in, but Laois maybe with Sive O'Reilly trying to get there, but it's Katie McNeil looks to have an advantage call here, and it's going to be a free in for Antrim. Laois didn't deal with that particularly well after maybe being in a position of strength. A loose ball across the field here, Brian, and put themselves under a bit of pressure. Chance for Antrim to open up that lead again. Yeah,
they were a bit slow. Grace Fox coming out with a goal, and then Aaron Walsh didn't get the clearance right, and they've got turned over, and now it's a free in.
Free in that's going to be taken by Ava McNeil. Got the first point of the game after 7 seconds, got a free after 4, but she's missed that, and that's maybe a let off for Laois in some ways, Brian.
Yeah, just tailed away to the left. Lovely strike, but tailed away. And it's ebbing and flowing, this game.
Could go. Could still go either way.
And then it goes the other way.
But here's the captain, Katie McNeil from Cushendall, looking to drive forward. She has a point to her name already, playing the pass inside. Still now, Laois Shaw, opportunity, stepping inside. Shot! Oh! She was definitely thinking of the back of Grace Fox's net there, but that ball has gone out to the right and wide. Chance gone a biggin for Amy McAllister.
Yeah.
(1924) 29 minutes gone. Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield final, as Laois have overplayed it there. Colin McAllister saying it's going to be a free. Imagine Ava McAllister is going to stand over. Liz Dempsey keeping an eye on her where that free should be from. She's stolen about a metre, and Liz has asked her to go back onto the grain of grass, as you can see there. UPMC Nolan Park, the venue for these All-Ireland Minor A finals. As McAllister lifts up that and sends it towards the post, but the umpire waving it wide. So puck out to come. Tell me what you see there, Brian.
Yeah, but the ball went wide and she poked it from the 14. And the referees or the lines people, none of them spotted. If you can get away with it, fire away.
Over there now, interesting tussle that's breaking out between Amy McAllister and Chloe Troy. Somehow it bounced off one of their legs and eventually popped it up, and here coming through, going to have a shot at, but that's again Conroy, I think, is the one that got in there again, Brian, and put a block on that. She's having a starring game of cornerback, Emer Conroy. Now the ball breaks forward here to Aoife Kirby, the joint captain of this Laois team. Dad Johnny, part of the management, trying to get it forward here towards Emma Jane Cuddy. But Antrim getting this ball forward. Anything could happen when the ball is down here. Black gets a half block on it there, trying to get that ball away from the Laois' Katie Kavanagh. Ball still moving forward. Antrim trying to get it forward with Leona Gillen. Ball is still with Antrim now. Driving on again. McAllister popping a pass. Looked a bit of a throw, but the referee allowing the play to continue. MacArthur plays a bit of hockey with it, trying to get a touch on board. Laois and Antrim battling it out here now into the closing stages. Don't know what the addition time was. Didn't see the 1 minute, was it? Okay, so we're in that time up now, I'd say, and McAllister, that is Carl McAllister, the match official, has decided we've seen enough. A right cracking encounter, Brian, no question about it. A game that at different stages looked like it might have been getting away from Laois. 1-8-3, and we thought, Antrim could be out the gap here. That goal and the point that they got, and they've curtailed, it would seem, the Antrim full forward line, giving Laois some hope here at half time.
Yeah, the switch they've made in the full back line and bringing Emer Conroy across. She's been a colossus back there. She might be small in stature, but by God, she's really shored up the back line for Laois. And as we said, there's chances for them up the other end. Antrim really started well. McAllister's been off her game, hit a few frees wide on the left wide, but this could go either way. Antrim looked the stronger for me overall, but it could go either way.
Yeah, because at least you've been able to hunt goals. That is the thing. But it's really like, to use in other sporting parlance, Kevin Keegan's Newcastle, you scored 3, we score 4. It nearly seems like it's going to be here. Yeah,
like it's 10 scores to 6. And I'd say Antrim have missed more a freeze. Murphy, I think, has got the 2 that she's had. So overall, I think Antrim should push on the second half.
Especially
but
with
they
the
have to
shore
up their back line. Again, their full back line. There's goals there. Laois could get another couple of goals. I could see it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how it ultimately plays out. Let's go back just to one thing. Laois made a switch, and then they also dropped back a player, which we probably felt with the wind on their back they probably didn't need to do, but it definitely has curtailed a lot more of the movement in the Antrim forward. So I would imagine they're going to stick with that in the second half.
Yeah, I'd imagine they will, because the game is now tight. They've got back into the game. But if they go behind, obviously, then they can probably change and go back 15 on 15. But they probably felt that they needed to shore up the defence. But to me, it was really just a personnel change. And Emer Conroy has done brilliantly.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all, as you said, plays out. So Antrim going in here at half time in the lead. Ava McNeil getting the opening score after 7 seconds, and then she doubled up on that a couple of minutes later. Emer McGowan then got the first of her 4 points. She was at end point on 6, 10, 14 and 15. Katie McNeil was also in the 6th minute getting points, and it looked like Antrim were going to open up, and then Amy Ferris got that fortuitous enough goal. It dropped in over Grace Fox's head and into the back of the net there. But Laois, credit to them, came storming back in, and when they got 2 goals in 7 minutes from Emer Murphy and Laura Culleton, well, they started to ask a few questions. Emer Murphy definitely a standout player for them. Their midfield not doing too badly either, along with Laura Culleton and Emma Jane Cuddy. So still all to play for. Let's give Emer Conroy a mention as well for how well she has done at cornerback, having moved positions on one occasion. So it's still very much tight, very much all to play for. However, those from the Glens of Antrim will have the wind on their back, and you would imagine some of their movement play might put Laois to the cost here. But it's going to be interesting to see how it ultimately all plays out. This is major. Well, it definitely is for both of these teams. Can they bring an All-Ireland title back to their county? We've half an hour to decide all of that. So here at half time, we're going to take a break. We will be back with you shortly with Antrim lead here in the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield final by 1-9 to Laois 2. Laois 2-4. And you're welcome back here to UPMC Nolan Park. Feels like you're in Langton's on a Saturday night. Those of you who would know the Kilkenny Revelry, we're in the Marble City here. So we're getting ready here for the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield final between Laois and Antrim. Cracking first half. We had 1-9-2-4, and now we see management's coming in. Don't know if you spot any changes, but we'll see as we go along, as officials get to the dugouts on both sides. We're still waiting for the umpires. That must have been a grand cup of tea, waiting for Colin McAllister's umpires to make it to the City End terrace here.
Aoife Kirby's gone to midfield for Laois.
Ball thrown in,
second half,
and again it's McNeil. This is similar to what they did in the opening seconds of the first half. Are they going to do at the start of the second? The exact same
thing.
Win both throw-ins. Brian get scores off both of them. It definitely is something that obviously is worked on, and it's got them 2 scores for the same person.
Yes, but also though her execution. I mean, a great strike on the run from about 35 yards out. Absolutely fantastic.
I think I count this one 9 seconds it is. I thought it was 11-9, so it's just a little bit shorter than the one in the first half.
She's a bit of work. She has a bit of work to do.
There wasn't as much speed that time.
Records, yeah.
But there you go. To win, I always maintain in the sport, if you could win the throw-ins and you get a score off it, it's a huge, big psychological blow. But Laois have come back from a couple of psychological blows, and they said 2 goals have kept them in touch. But Antrim now lead by 1 score, 3 points the difference here, 1-10-2-4. Ball is in the D, and it's Laois that have come out with it. Their midfielder Kayla O'Mara has had a fine game trying to get that ball forward, but Antrim have tightened it up. But there's been a loose pass there by Haven Lee, judged by Colin McAllister to have thrown the ball, and it's going to be a simple enough free, you would imagine, for Laois's number 10 Emer Murphy, who's converted 2 frees and got a fine goal as well into the City End terrace here. Laois now playing into a very strong breeze. I don't know if we'll get Lucas on camera this second half. We might get to pick up the flags on the line, and you'll see what the wind is like. But that's a fine point there from Emer Murphy. So it's a point apiece, 1-10-2-5, and the puck out to come from Orla Johnson, the Cargan netminder. Dropping it down around the middle, looking for a touch off it there off of Amy Ferris. Got that goal as driving forward with it is Ava McAllister. And has she got her point? She has, Brian. I think she was making up her mind she was going to get one early doors second half.
Yeah, well, we know she's capable of that. It wasn't happening for her the first half, but obviously cup of tea at half time is maybe set it right, and off she's gone. Yeah,
off she's gone and got that point over the bar. So 2-1 in the early stages of this second half. The Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield Camogie final between Laois and Antrim. Antrim looking to win their second one in 3 years. As the ball is played down into the middle, Laois looked like they had in possession, but nipping in there and doing very well was Amy Ferris. Sarsfield's player playing the ball across, but Laois defence there being able to win that ball back, but it's been hit back straight to Antrim. McNeil and Ferris linking up, and then looked like a bit of a dodgy pass there, but Black sends it down the wing. She's not going to worry about it as she drives it on here in the direction of Amy McAllister. McAllister looking to step inside 2 Laois players, and she does, and settles on the top of the D and fires it over the bar. And Antrim going to make a change.
20.
Amy McAllister using her burst of pace, come in along the line and put that ball over the bar. Number 10 is the player coming off here. Yeah. That is Cara Delaney. Aoife Fitzsimons of Love Darragh on the ball. She's the one that's in after 3 minutes of the second half. Straight away getting in the action and giving it to Ferris. Ferris looking around now for an opportunity to pop this ball into the right corner, but the Laois defence are there. Loose ball though in the direction of Katie Lyons. Katie going down over this ball, also there trying to win the ball back is McNeil. That's Ava McNeil, of course, as Katie McNeil is the captain. McAllister Popping it here to McNeil, aforementioned. The captain is driving that ball up and over the bar, and Antrim will come out with a bit of impetus here to start second half, Brian.
Yeah, they have, and I think that's 3 shots, goal, 3 points. Every one of them over the bar. 3 shots, 3 points, and they look like they mean business this second half.
Yeah, points on 31, 32, 33 and 34 from Ava McNeil, from Amy McAllister and Katie McNeil. So the McNeils and McAllister show, none related, but they've put the balls over the bar as the ball is dropping in over the Laois defence here now. Bit of movement inside, looking for a little bit of scope maybe out of the Antrim forwards as they attack the Ardon or Gerball end, and they've won that ball back. An opportunity would look like a bit of a charge there, but Colin McAllister allowing the play to continue, and it's Laois's Emer Connery that gets that ball out and eventually fully cleared by her defensive partner. Drive forward, looked like a charge there, I would have thought, from Casey Crawford, but referee allows the play to continue, and Crawford is getting the ball to McAllister, but she's driven that ball to the left and wide. (1:13 to 2-5). It was 1-9 to 2-4 half time, so Antrim have come out and laid it down now to Laois. You're going to have to come at us again here. 16 points to 11. They're in charge, and Laois now struggling to get the ball beyond their halfway line, Brian, here. And the wind is definitely a factor here from the puckouts as Antrim going through the changes. And we'll hear Brian's motion in a minute, getting this ball across here now. Going to have to be a good touch here by Chloe Troy to keep that ball away, and she does quite well. Chloe's had a tough enough afternoon so far, and she dealt with that and got it away as Laois eventually clear up along the line, but it's going to be an Antrim ball. I just was saying there, Brian, Laois now struggling to get beyond their own halfway line here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Antrim have got a stranglehold from midfield, and really they're struggling to get by it. They're just going to have to work hard at it.
Ball play, lovely take there from that sideline cut by McNeil, finding Amy McAllister, having the shot. Ball comes back off the upright. Dangerous enough ball now, they've got to be sure about it. I should say it's Bennett getting the ball across here now to Chloe Troy. Up along the wing it goes. Chloe hopefully growing in a bit of confidence after those last 2 clearances. Black trying to get on it, stumbled on the turf as referee said though there was a foul committed there, and the hurl was up high. Colin McAllister obviously felt, and it's going to be a free. That it looks like McNeil is standing over here. As he said, Ava got 3 scores. She's got both opening scores of the first and second half, and they all came in the opening 10 seconds. She's standing directly in line with myself here, about 30 metres in, and she's going to have a shot at the post here, but it's actually dropping short, surprisingly. Ball is a dangerous one though, but Laois get it bad away, but it's straight to an Antrim player, and it's up and over the bar on the break. And already, Brian, I'm just starting to notice the Laois body language starting to hang a little bit here, the heads. Yeah,
they've got completely on top right from the throw in, as you said, Killian, after 9 seconds, and that tempo that Antrim has continued right through.
Yeah, and Antrim have nearly got a score a minute since they've come out at the start of the second half. At least need to get their hold on the ball, and already now you'd probably think, Brian, if they do get into the forwards, they're going to have to go for a goal here, I think.
Yeah, because it's stretched on now. They're 6 points behind.
Yeah,
only went in 2 points behind a half time.
Yeah, Antrim have definitely come out a different animal. McAllister now looking to play the ball down along the wing, looking to continue it all the way through their teamer McGochran. She's gone a little bit quiet. That's because of Conroy's impetus in this game. She got 4 points, McGochran, in the opening quarters. This ball breaks, and it's Conroy again looking to dig it out. She's definitely one player that Laois are looking to at the minute. She's trying to patrol that defence back there. Ball gets away from the Laois player, and it might work out fortuitously enough for Ava McNeil. 3 points to her name. She's still going, being urged on by her management to keep going, but she has not a great connection on that, and the ball has gone out to the left and wide as we see the Kilkenny minor panel sitting in Ardon or Gerball watching this game. They're of course thrown in a little over an hour's time as Laois played this ball up along the wing. Trying to get on it now. Laois, as we said, need a score, but you would feel with it at 17 points to 11 with 8.5 minutes gone in the second half that they need to find the back of the net already. But it's Antrim that dig it out. Colin McAllister allowing the play to continue, eventually to work it out between them, and Black clears it long down along this left hand side. Nearly taking it on the run there was Amy McAllister, comes out off her hand and out over the line. A bit unlucky for her there. Martin keeping the Antrim crowd in touch with the scores happening up north. Of course, they're playing Kilkenny today in the Leinster Senior Hurling Championship, as that ball from Amy Ferris went into the left and wide. I think she was appealing that it might have been a 45, but the ball is on the puck out straight away for Laois. Dropping down here and controlling it to herself was Emma Jane Cuddy. Gets a little bit of a nudge in the back as she went down on that ball, and it's going to be a free for Laois. A little bit of movement now, and Laois have a few numbers up here if they can get the ball up towards their full forward line. Doing quite well there to race in around the back is Kayla O'Mara. She's the one that's joined the full forward line in this second half, looking to get inside. That surely looks like it was legal what was being done to her there as she tried to get inside, and Laois have won a free and a chance, I would imagine, for Emer Murphy.
I think with the Cork seniors these days, the analysts seem to be calling that good tactical foul, and looking at the scoreline, they weren't letting her in for a goal.
No, wasn't a hope that Kayla O'Mara was going to get away from the corner back there, and she had support as well from full-back Ava Lee and Leona Gillen. So, chance here for Emer Murphy, putting that ball over the bar. So that's the only score. That's the second score Laois have got in this second half. Both of them from Emer Murphy here.
Our fourth.
40 minutes gone. She's 4 in total. And also a cracking goal after 12 minutes. Laois, though, don't want to keep saying it, probably need a goal, and they've turned over, in fairness, to puck out now, and they're driving on here, and it's a powerful run from Aoife Kirby, the joint captain of this team. She's surrounded by jerseys, but she gets the ball off to Amy Daly. Daly's shot is blocked, but Kirby was being fouled, said the ref. And I suppose, Brian, in fairness, that's a good impetus there from Laois. Got it free, got it over the bar, won the puck out. Need to keep trucking on and keeping the ball up this end. Yeah, well, Aoife Kirby doing a captain's part there. Won it, drove forward, trying to make something happen. And Emer Murphy has been very, very good on the frees today. They should just take it back another little bit. Top of the D when she connects with this, I would imagine, into the city end. Yeah. Terrace puts the ball up and over the bar. Good score. 2 in a row now for Laois. Narrowing the gap a little bit, but it's still 4 points. They need to keep the ball up this end, you would feel. 41 minutes gone. The Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Shield Camogie final between Antrim and Laois. 114-27. This is major. Is the hashtag using the social media by Electric Ireland. These minor championships, these girls, of course, fighting it out, will be endeavouring to do state exams and everything over the coming months and everything. Not all of them, I'm sure, but some of them will be busy period in their life, but they'd also want to win in All-Ireland. As of course the girls from Antrim probably will be doing GCSEs as the ball breaks on the ground there, looking to be knocking it away. And Laois do that very, very well. Good control there, and again, you'd have to credit Laois defence on occasion, Brian. They have been found out on 1 or 2 occasions, but that was a good tackle there and good cornerback play.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant block by Chloe Troy. I mean, goal scoring tackle, because it had been very well worked. I mean, this is the first time McGochran has gotten away from Conroy since she's gone on her, but great defender from Laois. Block gets that clear as Laois were taking that free quickly because they saw space inside. But here's an opportunity now. Amy McAllister, 2 points to her name, gets away there. Oh, it's another block by the centre back Ella Phelan. But Antrim have got it somehow. I don't know how that all worked out for Amy McAllister. That ball hopped around. She was the initial block, and then Laois just bounced about, and then she fell back into her hand again. She puts it over the bar. 115-27. Scoreboard 43 minutes. As Antrim's number 20 that came in there, Aoife Fitzsimons of Love Darragh, puts on that block, and a Vichy ball is batted in again. That's twice Grey Fox has knocked the ball out, and she's been lucky on 2 of the occasions. As getting on this ball now, Chloe Troy giving the ball off. Laois player down injured as Katie Lyons down to her left hand side here. Ball breaks in the middle now. Laois being urged on by the crowd behind them. They need, you would feel, to find the back of the onion sack. This could be a lady that would do it. Kayla O'Mara on the 20, on the 13, meeting the keeper. Keeper comes out, blocked down, going to have a shot. Ball is broken away. It's still there for Kayla O'Mara. Antrim defence. Ball is there again and over the bar. And eventually goes, I think it was the corner forward. Yeah. Kayla O'Mara did everything right again, though, Brian. She just probably took it a step too far, and that created no angle for her.
Yeah, and good goalkeeping for Arla Johnson. She stood up and she met her.
Great stuff. Really, really good. A goal here would have really put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Credit Katie Kavanagh. I think she was swinging at a go for goal. It just went a little bit high. It went over the bar, but it is a point. It's 115 to 2-8.
But we said all day there is goals there for Laois if they can get them inside, and when Antrim are doing most of the hurling.
Yes, but Amy Daly gets in and wins that ball. Yeah, and she's dug it out a couple of occasions. Laois have numbers inside if they can get this ball off. Ball went just a little bit too far ahead of Laois's number 9, Kayla O'Mara, and eventually it's Antrim's fullback, Ava Lee, that gets that ball away. Over here it goes towards Amy McAllister, looking to step inside. The attentions there of the Laois cornerback, has a shot, didn't really look as she hit it, and the ball has gone out to the left and wide.
Has to be changed. 12.
Willie Devlin is just a little bit concerned that maybe Antrim just leaving Laois in this game a little bit with some of the snatched opportunities that they've had. Laois about to make a change, but Antrim with their number 20 Aoife Fitzsimons coming down along the left wing here, popping the ball inside. Laois Antrim's number 12 Mary MacArthur trying to win that ball, but it's Laois's number 11 that has come out with it, and it looks like Aoife Kirby is the one back minding the house as she finds the touch here, and Liz Dempsey has the flag up, letting Brian Deering, of course, down below us announce a substitute, and the Laois number 12 is going to come in. That's Aveen Steins, who was due to start but was replaced by Amy Daly. She's now in, Aveen Steins, and coming off is Kayla O'Mara. So a little bit of positional swapping going on, I would imagine. 46 minutes. Could this be a major change for Laois? Could it have a major factor in the result of this game? Amy McAllister out in front of the player again there as she looks to step inside. 3 points, 2 in the second half. Pops a pass to Amy first. Has got a goal and a point in this game. Advantage being played. She's lost the ball. The referee allows her to be able to pick it up. She still has the advantage. Fires the shot in and it's over the bar. Same result as it probably was going to be, because the free was going to be right in front of the post. Amy first now brings her tally to 1-2. 46 minutes of this encounter. 2 points for Amy Ferris in this second half. Ball breaks, and it's again a player that's come on, and Aoife Fitzsimons has done quite well there, getting away from the Laois markers, popping the ball, dangerous ball in top of the D there. It's two Laois players coming across, but it's Ferris that's got onto it, tries to hand pass it to MacArthur. MacArthur tried to do well to win it, still in there trying to win it, and the Laois defence though are back their numbers, and eventually half blocked down there. Katie Lyons was trying to win it. MacArthur's back in to win that ball. Here's a shout, but she elects to go for her own shot. It's going to be going across the Laois goal, and will Grace Fox keep it in play? She does. Antrim defence urging Antrim management urging the players to get up there and win that ball. No Laois player there. Opportunity for Katie McNeil now to have a shot. The captain of this Antrim team, dropping it in and dropping it over the bar. That's a hell of a score.
A hell of a score. Wind assisted, but brilliant score for Katie O'Neill.
Right at the entrance to the dressing rooms there. 47 minute.
Grace Fox would have been better sending that out over the line.
She really would have been better, exactly, and resetting and everything like that.
Yeah, she just hit it straight to her and she said thanks.
So the Cork and Kilkenny panels for the big game at 4:30 here watching this encounter. Right lively encounter, despite the fact that Antrim do have a bit of a lead, but Laois are giving it all. An opportunity here now. They do have numbers over. Aoife Kirby driving it on, has two players inside her. She's still going, Kirby. Now has lost control of it, has to go back and try and regroup. Two Antrim players all around her, both of them on the ground, trying to get in there and win it as well as the corner forward, Katie Kavanagh. Somehow Kirby's got it back. Kavanagh's in there sniffing on something. Kavanagh thinking about it, shortens the grip, pops it over the bar, and she's got two lovely scores in fairness to her, Katie Kavanagh, and it narrows the gap just a little bit again.
Yeah, a lovely score, flicking the wrists over the bar, Katie Kavanagh. But Aoife Kirby is trying to take the fight to Antrim for Laois.
Faces number 12, Mary MacArthur.
93-45.
So Mary MacArthur coming off, I think she looks like she has a bandage on the finger. I don't know whether that was there beforehand, but she did her bit as well out there, but she has been replaced by Amelia Annette from Laois Darragh, I should say, as a ball comes forward. 117-2-9. Antrim in control of this encounter. Breaks on forward to their captain, Katie McNeil. Oh, whooshes off Delisha Tent and gets to McNeil. McNeil is on the top of the D, hunting another score. It's up and over the bar, and when they're in the flow, Brian, they're hard to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant play by Anya Ferris. Just fed it to the runner coming off the shoulder from midfield, and thanks very much. Eva McNeil, I mean, they're very, very good players, McNeil and Ferris. Absolutely excellent.
As that ball breaks around the middle now again, Laois looking to keep hunting here. Antrim though have gone out now to 21 points. It's a fair score, Brian, in Camogie stage. 118 in All-Ireland final up against the 2-9. Laois, you would feel now, I know I was saying it 10 minutes ago and they've kept trucking away, you still feel if they're going to be in the hunt to win this title, have to get a goal and have to get it soon, and may now soon have to get two of them. As the ball breaks, Black is surrounded there by Emer Murphy, definitely a standout player here for Laois as this ball is driven forward. The number 23 that's on, Amelia Annette, held off of that ball. Laois trying to get control of it, but it's coming in on top of this. Amy McAllister, 3 points her name, make that 4. And she definitely has caused Laois problems. As soon as Laois caught the grips of Emer McGochran, it switched to Amy McAllister, and she's now got 4 points in this game.
Unfortunately, Laois don't have two Emer Conroys, because she was on McAllister and held her scoreless. She's gone over McGochran, held her scoreless, but now McAllister's doing how to score.
Yeah, unfortunately,
so
that would
they
seem
need to clone Emer Conroy and Laois.
But I'm sure if Laois were coming in here today, Brian, they would have felt if we can control Eva McAllister, you know, and everything that she brings, and again, it's not about putting pressure on a player, but she's definitely a standout player for Antrim. As I said, we've heard an awful lot about her through the championship. They would have thought we've a right crack at this, but it just seems to have, despite the fact they've put their attention maybe on stopping and the curbing her control of this game, it's allowed others maybe a bit of freedom, hasn't it?
Yeah, with our midfield, I like her midfield partner there, Eva McNeil. I think it's 4 points, and it's the one that's really stepped up, and Ferris in front of her at 11. Was a very good sign for Antrim Camogie. There's some very good players.
Absolutely, and caught that with the sandwich, but drove it out to the right and wide there, Eva McNeil. She's had a few shots of goal. She's along with the 4 points, she's had 3 wides as well. She's a fairly strong player, not afraid to take on the shot. As Black now pirouetting out of tackle there, Laura Black. Of course, her clubmate Katie is the captain. Lovely story in the programme where Katie shared that her first memory of Camogie was when herself and Laura were at a blitz, 5 and 6 years of age, standing in the middle of the field, the game going on around them, and they were plaiting each other's hair. That's their first memory. And here they are today, they're going to win an All-Ireland by the looks of it.
Well, anybody goes to any Féile every year, you have to be able to plait the hair. So, that was Féile training at 5 or 6, Killian. I'd imagine it goes on up and down the country.
Absolutely. Amy Daly has been called ashore. She started the game and thought she had a right in game. She's probably a little bit unlucky in lots of ways to be taken off, but she has been replaced on the Laois team as that ball goes in. And is it over the bar, Brian?
Yes, over the bar. And I think by my stats anyway, that's only the second free out of 120. I think they've only 2 points from frees. And maybe they might correct me on that, Killian, but
yeah,
that's some scoring, 118 from play.
Absolutely,
so
this ball goes inside now. Got to be careful. Grace Fox gets out around, hunts it, keeps it on the top of her hurl and sends it over to the far side to Ardon Brannock as it comes off of the Laois player there and out over the line. A free went over the bar from McNeil.
Eva McNeil.
That's her fifth of the game.
Yeah.
First free.
Second free.
Yeah, her second free. Apologies. And that's you're dead right. I was just trying to glance quickly at the notes there.
5 points, I think she has altogether.
Yeah, but they've only got 2 frees out of 120. That's a phenomenal.
Some scoring from play.
Absolutely. As Black comes forward, is she going to get a score? Oh, lovely effort! Cracking effort from the wing back. Laura Black, she's been allowed to roam a little bit further up the field, probably because defensively they're not under as much pressure. And, she's basically said to Katie, her friend, what you can do, I can do as well. And that's a fine effort, and over the bar makes it 1-21. And Barn, an absolute disaster. This All-Ireland title is going back up to the Glens. And it'll be the second national title in a few weeks for Antrim Camogie. As that ball is won back by Antrim, but it looks like it's going to fall into the Laois keeper, and she's made a little bit of a mistake on that, and it's corner forward. Emer McGochran had a fair opening quarter, tried to do the impossible from that angle, but it's gone out to the right and wide. So 54 minutes gone, and as I said, Brian, I think barring a disaster now, this is definitely heading back to the Glens.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, and really, really impressed with the striking of the Antrim players. Their striking has been exemplary.
Some of their movement when they're on the move, Brian, I have to say, has been exemplary. Off the shoulder running, support play has just been phenomenal. Laois, needed those goals to keep in touch, but now it's becoming a bit of a shootout from an Antrim point of view, and as I said, Laois heads probably dropping that little bit. Katie McNeil, who will be lifting the shield in a few minutes' time, gets a lovely pass inside then to Amelia Annette. She holding off the Laois attention, drops the ball. Laois are there, and also Ava McNeil, star player for Antrim. Has she got another point on the board? She has. I don't think, Brian, if we're picking player of the match, we have to look too far, do we?
No, I think it's the one with the red helmet. I don't think there'd be any arguments about it. I mean, 6 points, but just...
But she was. But never mind the point stop, Brian. She's been everywhere on occasions.
Well, I mean, you said it yourself. 7 seconds and 9 seconds, either side in both halves. She set the tempo, and she's still going strong now at this stage. Absolutely tremendous performance.
Also substitution on the Antrim team, number 24, Orla Gould, replaces number 15, Emer McCollum.
So Laois and Antrim making changes there. Laura Cullen is being called ashore, and also as Emer McGochran. That opening quarter from her, the 4 points that she got, fine efforts, has had a bit of a quieter game after that, after Emer Connery was moved on her. We have to give credit to Emer Connery, Aoife Kirby, Emma Jane Cuddy, Emer Murphy. They're probably the star Laois players.
Yes, without a doubt.
Ball is still there. Antrim looking to plunder another goal. Grace Fox. Then eventually McAllister popping it in, was trying to drop it, I think, and she got it over the bar. She's another one that would be considered, Brian. That's her 5th point of the game, and she's really had a star second half here.
Yeah, she's had a star second half, but I think it's a lot to do with Emer Conroy's not on her. I thought Laois would have made a change.
Yeah, with chance anyway gone a big, and Laois now, player gone down injured, under a little bit of pressure, but credit them, not giving up, and I would imagine Messrs. Collier and Jones will be on the blower to some of these Laois players as well, as Laois, of course, will be competing in Premier Junior. As the ball maybe crashing tackle. Referee is given the advantage, but there was a Laois player gone inside. If the opportunity was to deliver the pass, and credit the Laois player that's got up after that. That was a crashing tackle, I think, by the full-back Ava Lee.
Yeah, since we're here in Nolan Park, Pat Dillon would come to mind.
Lovely take inside now, trying to come across on this Emma Jane Cuddihy, and went for that goal, but it's gone out to the right and wide. 1:23:29, 3 minutes remaining. And player of the match will be talking at the end of the game, and also the winning captain. But as I said, I think in our running, Ava McNeil will be in the running for that. Katie McNeil also, Amy McAllister, Emer Cochran at certain stage, Amy Ferris, they once considered, but Ava McNeil is our nod. We'll leave it to the officials over on the far side. Don't forget, we will have the presentation of the shield and interviews with the winning management. 1:23:29, there's no doubt where the title is going to be resting. As Antrim get ready to make another change, it looks like another Laois Darragh player is going to come in. Leisha Stone is about to enter the field of play by the looks of things. Photographers getting ready over on this side, I'm sure, from up north to have a few pictures that will be available in some of the publications up there. They'll be advertising, and another success for Antrim Camogie. Of course, they were seniors were playing in the semi against Down today. I'm not sure, I'll try and find a result on that, but sure the seniors would have been fancy to come away with the victory there. as McAllister steps inside and she puts that ball over the bar. 5 points in this second half, Brian.
Substitution on the Antrim team.
Yeah, look, every time the ball goes, she has to beat another player, and she can step inside of her every time and score. And they're looking for her.
So Alicia Stone is in for Rihanna Black.
I tell you, we could see a lot of these Antrim minors stepping up to boost their seniors.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and you would think that Carl McCormick, he's not going to be here today, but I'm sure he's watching. Hello to you, Carl, if you are in your management team. Keeping an eye on some of these girls.
2 minutes.
2 minutes of additional time to be played out as McAllister gets in again and pops that ball over the bar. She is being given a bit of freedom of UPMC Nolan Park, but again, she's had 4 points in 10 minutes here, and that's her 6th, 7 in all. 125. That is some tally, Brian.
It's some tally, and I think only 2 from frees.
Yeah. Ball is played inside. Opportunity maybe for Laois. Goalkeeper and full back getting mixed up, but they eventually get it out here to Leona Gillen. And they hadn't had to be threatened too much in this second half, Brian, but it's all about keeping the eyes and ears open when it does happen.
There's only 2 points in it at the break.
Yeah, I had to think, but that, I think just the movement of Antrim ultimately, they probably got a little bit of a talking to in the second at half time, just to be a little bit more clinical. I'm sure we saw that, Brian. They got a point a minute for the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, like 26 scores. Some going.
Yeah.
Number 19, Sarah Louise Kearns replaces number 4, Leona Gillen. Substitution on the Laois team, number 23, Aoife Morris replaces number 4, Chloe Troy.
So Chloe Troy has been replaced and Aoife Morris is in for her, and Leona Gillen has been replaced. The 2 cornerbacks gone for Antrim there now, and coming in Sarah Louise Kearns from Dunloy. But Antrim families and everyone that's down here that have made the long trip down will be I'm sure celebrating in the next minute. So free here for Antrim. That Ava McNeil, what a performance from her. 6 points, and it looks like this could be her 7. Don't want to put the hex on her, but with the wind over her shoulder and with her ability, you would fancy she's going to get on 7 here, directing it towards the post and into Iris O'Garball. She puts that ball over the bar. The umpires are nearly as a pain in his back down there, waving the flag in the second half, Brian.
Yeah, he has. But that's 7 points for her and 7 points for McAllister, I make it. So, between the two of them.
Yeah, like that's 14 of the 126. It'd be level if they hadn't their contribution, but that's a lot of what ifs and maybes. As Katie McNeil will be the captain lifting the trophy. Knocked it on there to Alicia Stone, and then a heavy tackle coming in from Sive O'Reilly, and it's going to be a free and another opportunity here maybe for McNeil. Can she get 8 and put herself elusively away then from Amy McAllister? And Ava McNeil has had a fair balance, 4 from play, 3 from frees, and let's see how she does with this one. As I say, this will be the final action. Colin McAllister looking at his watch. Ava McNeil then high and handsome heading towards Hebron Road end over the bar.
For the flag.
8 points, 4 from frees, 4 from play, and I think she's going to be our player of the match.
Ireland, player of the game for today's minor Laois Shield final. She's just after scoring that point, goes to number 9, Ava McNeil.
And the game is over, and Antrim are victorious here, 127 to 2-9. Laois, it was a hard task for them, there was no question about it, Brian, and especially into the conditions. I just felt that Antrim really laid down a marker, got the first score as they had done at the start of the first half, got the first score the second half, got the next 4 points, and really then they were asking an awful lot of questions. Laois would have had to hunt goals, really.
Oh yeah, look, straight from the start to the second half. I mean, only 2 points in at half time, and they just powered on for the whole of the second half. An outstanding performance by Antrim. Some really, really, really good players, and really impressed with their striking of the ball. I mean, you know, the A final is going to come up next, but I mean, some of them girls from Antrim would live with the best. Really, really impressive.
Yeah. Just quickly, from a Laois point of view, you know, you're probably looking at Emer Conroy throughout the whole hour, give a fine cornerback performance. Emer Murphy, Emma Jane Cuddy, you know, Kayla, Aaron Walsh, they were ones that tried hard for Laois.
They were, yeah, and I thought Eva Kirby, she tried to carry it to them as the captain. But ultimately, Antrim just had too many guns for them. At the end of the day.
Yeah, Ava McNeil, ultimately our player of the match. Amy McAllister, Katie McNeil, Ava McAllister, you know, Emer McGochran at different stages. They were, I suppose, you had just too much in certain key areas, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the player of the match, after 7 seconds at the start and 9 seconds at the second half, there's some going.
Right, well, we'll head over for the presentation. Rejoin us shortly. We'll hear from presentation and also the player of the match and the manager. 127 to 2-9 here.
On behalf of the Camogie Association, I want to thank everybody associated with NCMC Nolan Park, with NEGA and everybody who has facilitated our finals here today. It's a difficult task, any of you who are involved know it's a difficult task to get access to top quality facilities for our games. And this is one of the best facilities in the country. And I'd like a round of applause, please, for everybody associated with this facility for making it available to us today for our finals, our Electric Ireland minor finals. I'd like to thank Carl, the referee, and all his team of officials. I say it every time, it's a thankless task, and then I reverse that by thanking him. But on a serious note, it's a really, really difficult job. We're always under pressure, and Carl did a fantastic job, and all of your officials did a fantastic job. I'd like a round of applause, please, for our referee and our officials today. Competitions like this don't just happen, they don't just run themselves. Our National Competitions Management Committee, led by Linda Kenny and ably assisted by our staff and the operations staff, led by Bridget and our Chief Executive, Sinead, have done a fantastic job over the course of this year. Not just running this competition, but running all our competitions from 16s, minor, 23s, league and into the championship. There's a huge amount of work done, and a huge amount of work done in particular by volunteers who do not get paid, who do it on their own time. I'd like a big round of applause, please, for everybody involved in National Competitions Management and for our staff who make these competitions happen. I'd like to pay special thanks to the members of the Defence Forces who are here with us today. It's a novel idea that we had that we'd involve our Defence Forces, and the girls who are flag bearers today are all Camogie players themselves. So we can get a round of applause, please, for those girls who did a remarkable job at the start of the game and the parade. I want to thank and pause and thank Electric Ireland. Pat Fenton is here beside me representing Electric Ireland, who will be making a presentation in a second. But Electric Ireland have done an absolutely amazing job in sponsoring not just the Camogie minor but also across the coast the minor competition, and giving huge attention rightfully to this age group and to these girls and to our sports. Electric Ireland, I get it all the time from people highlighting, and obviously I take the credit for it even though it's nothing to do with me, but highlighting just how good the ads are, just how good the activation is on the Electric Ireland Minor Championship. So Pat, to you and all of your team, we really appreciate the support from Electric Ireland, and I'd ask for a round of applause for Electric Ireland, please. The final people who are going to support are the people who are giving the rounds of applause, all the supporters, and particularly at this age profile, a lot of those supporters are the nannies and daddies and the sisters and brothers and the aunties and uncles and the neighbours who drive all around the country to support these girls. We really appreciate it. I know the girls really appreciate it. So give yourselves a round of applause, all the supporters of both teams here today. To the game itself, it was an absolutely superb game of camogie, particularly first half was such a tight first half. Laois, not your day today, but a fantastic game and a fantastic championship for you so far. Keep the heads up high, and I look forward to seeing you drive on into 23s and into adults, so very well done, Laois. To Antrim, obviously, they say that finals are there for winning, and you have won in style, so there's two presentations to be made here today. First of all, the player of the match will be presented by Pat Fennan on behalf of Electric Ireland, and the player of the match, as announced, Ava McNeil. And that brings me, without further ado, I've got great pleasure in presenting the Minor A Shield to the captain, Katie McNeil, on behalf of this year's Electric Ireland Minor A Shield winners, Antrim.
First of all, I would just like to say a huge thank you to Noel Park. A huge thank you to Noel Park for letting us use their pitch facilities. Like, I don't think there's no excuses for missing a pit out there or not getting your first stop. Like, it is an unreal experience for myself, the girls down there, and it's just, at such a young age to play in a pitch like this in a game like an All-Ireland final. It's just a memory and an experience none of us will ever forget, so thank you. Next, I would like to thank everyone who sponsored us throughout the season, whether that be with jerseys, kit, breakfasts, foods, helping us money with the hotel last night. We honestly wouldn't really be where we are without you. You give us so much, and you're there for us. And it's majority of the time it is the players, mums and dads. It's just like no one's asking you to do it without your own good. It's just he's really helped us this season, so thank you very much. Next, I would like to thank everyone in these stands and everyone watching back home in Antrim. You have travelled up and down the country with us. You have given us so much, honestly. You dedicate so much time to us. You just keep us going, you encourage us. We definitely heard us today, because when we were getting tight, we heard us, we definitely heard us. So, and you kept us going, and kept us keep going, and without you, we wouldn't have pushed on, so thank you very much. Next up, I would like to thank our management, Ursula, Russia, JP, Maurice, Connor, and Willie. You've honestly dedicated so much to us, you've given up so much time, you've helped us so much throughout this competition, this is as much ours as it is yours, we honestly wouldn't stand here if it wasn't for you today. He's believed in us, believed in us. If we didn't think we could do it, you thought we could do it, and it just kept us going, it really did. And this is my last ever minor match with you today, all yous down there. So, no, honestly, it's been the best 6 months ever, and to go undefeated, yous are such a big part of that, so really well done, thank you. I'd like to say a big thank you to Laois. Honestly, just what an unbelievable team yous are. These are the best team we've come up against this whole competition. Honestly, some of the best players we've probably ever come up against. Yous fought and yous fought and yous fought, no matter what the score was, no matter what was going on around you. Yous went in for every ball like it was your last, honestly. And today, it just wasn't your day, but the future is bright for every single one of yous. Yous are an unbelievable team, and honestly, yous are a credit to your family, to everyone here who's supporting you today, to your management. But you should really be so proud of yourself. So well done, Laois. And last but definitely not least, I'd like to thank a really big thank you for every single girl who's standing down there in Antrim jersey. 6 months ago, it was us, we were chosen to come out and wear that jersey and fight for every ball like it was our last. And honestly, we did that not only today,
Rouge, Bernie Fudge, and Quinn Corky.
Willie Devlin, winning Antrim manager, big smile on your face.
Delighted, absolutely delighted today. We talked after the Ulster final, those girls have come. 2 years ago they were beating the Ulster final, beating an All-Ireland final. That's hard to take for girls, but to come back this year, and some of the camogie they were playing was superb. Like, to score 129 today from an Antrim camogie team is just superb. And I think Katie McNeil, who's an excellent captain, said it today. They've put their bodies in the line for each other. And they really, they're such a great group of girls and individuals to work with. Just delighted to get over the line.
Willie, I was impressed by movement off the ball and everything, you know, especially in the second half, I suppose, with the elements with you and everything. You were able to, you know, utilise that and obviously trust the girls to go after that game.
Yeah, a wee bit maybe controversial. We just tried to change the way the girls are playing this year. Introduce a bit of the short pass into. We've a lot of dual players in that team, and they understand movement on the pitch, so we just didn't want to be hitting that ball away. We wanted to work it through the lines. You saw our inside forward line is superb, but we wanted to give them the right ball, so we've been working on that all the way through the season. And it does take a huge amount of trust from the girls. And sometimes we make mistakes, we golf up the odd goal, but whenever you see it in motion, that's a great thing to see. So again, fair play to the girls, they took that on board.
Were you any bit concerned at all at half time? I know you obviously had a 2-point lead, haven't played into the elements, but there was a few moments maybe where Laois could have plundered a couple of goals on you.
They could in the first half, they could, and again, but I think we gave up 3 or 4 goal scoring chances. So whenever you looked at that, we were 2 points up. We had a pretty strong wind, and you saw our 2 midfielders can put the ball over from 65 yards. I think in half time we just went in, and actually I didn't give much of a team talk. Katie McNeil and Eva McNeil, actually, who's the captain and the player of the match, told the girls we're doing well, just do the same thing. So I was a wee bit redundant at half time, and I'm happy enough to hand over to Katie and Eva, and they just, you know, told the girls what was happening. We kept it very, very low key this year, no emotion. Just stick to the process and keep on scoring points.
A big personal moment for you, of course, obviously with your daughter on the team as well.
Yeah, it's always difficult that way. But myself and Maeve have that sort of agreement. I'm the manager and she's the player, and now she's my daughter, and I'm absolutely thrilled for her, you know. But again, back to all the girls. The girls, again, you know, because she is my daughter, but there's no issue with the rest of the girls. They just get down, they just play, they just encourage each other, and it's just brilliant to see. I think we had 7 or 8, maybe even 9 clubs represented today in that Antrim team, and that's huge as well, especially getting Belfast girls onto the team as well, because Antrim Camogie need that. Antrim
Camogie in a good fettle this year. I'm sure we're going to see a couple of these girls make the step up, aren't we?
I would say definitely. I think Karen McCormick's probably got his eye on about half a dozen of these girls. You know, we just had to hold on to them, but I think Carl sees the talent coming through, and to be fair to him, you know, he's introduced some new girls this year into the senior team, so he shows he's not afraid to give young girls their chance, and that's what we need.
Well, congratulations to you, Willie. I'm going to talk to some of these young girls here that have a perfect woman. I might just give her the microphone. Thanks very much. Congratulations, Willie. Fair play to you, and congratulations to you. Thanks for joining us. Katie, how are you? Describe how that feels.
Oh, I don't think you can describe it. I really don't. Like, you know, I was part of this team 2 years ago now, 2023, the one team on this, and the feeling doesn't get any, like, it's still the exact same feeling, you know. I thought I'll be used to it, but no, honestly, like, just the work these girls put in, you know. I've been there every training, every match, when it was hailstones, sunny, windy, whatever. They dig deep, and they dig for each other, and just to know that the hard work they put in has finally worked off, it is just, I'm just so proud of every single one of them girls. It really is.
Willie said he didn't have to say a whole lot at half time. He left yourself and Ava to say a lot, and judging by what I've heard from you there as a public speaker, I'm sure a lot of girls have a lot of trust in you. You were leading by example as well out there.
Oh, I'm sure them girls are good to not hear me for a couple of months now, but
well, it's your last minor match, you probably won't have to.
Exactly, no, they know I'll speak as much as I can now, because that's it. But look, I just feel like, and you always,
I've got the role, I've got the title as captain, but every single one of them girls are captains, as you said. Like even McNeil speaking, Lieutenant Amy Ferris, Casey Crawford, even McAllister, could name the whole team. To be honest, I might have the title, but every single one of them are leaders in their own way, and that is what you need. You need a team that can just come out, fight for each other, speak. One of us speak, we lift heads and we go again because we listen and we trust and we just want to fight for each other. So no, honestly, every single girl in that team's a leader.
I know you said it's your last minor game now or whatever. Winning All Ireland is so huge important. I'm sure you're looking at the steps up now and maybe further involvement this summer. You would hope maybe if Carl McCormack gives you a call.
Yeah, if he's all. See if I can make time. Now I'm joking. Of course, to play for your county at senior level, it's every wee girl's dream. We played this. This is my third time playing this pitch now, and at 18, that is just an unbelievable experience. And it's something that none of the girls in the country will ever get. So, 100%. I think a lot of us are looking to go up to the county level at senior, I think we're always good. I think every single one of them girls, a majority of them girls could get up next year, but we've won this now, so we'll focus tonight and then, we'll see after that what happens.
Right, and congratulations to you, Katie. Very much well done. That's Katie McNeil then bringing end to our coverage here of the Minor A Shield that has went the way of Antrim. Katie McNeil of Cushendall. She's some lady to speak, and I tell you, if Antrim were to build on the back of a young lady like that, a great public speaker, they'll be going well for the future. So that ends our broadcast for this section, but we're heading back up to our commentary position. Why? Because we have a big game coming up at 4:30 that sees Cork and Kilkenny go head to head here on UPMC Nolan Park. We're promised a cracker. Myself and Brian will be back in situ, so don't go too far away. Maybe head off, get a cup of tea, maybe a few biscuits, maybe a sandwich. We'll be back in about 15 minutes bringing you the best of the action. To you and welcome here again to UPMC in Kilkenny for this Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor Camogie A final between Cork and Kilkenny. Can Cork and Kilkenny be a titanic affair? It would promise to be such, as they proved already in the group stages, but once they dealt with each other they were able to deal with other opposition as well, the likes of Tipperary, the likes of Galway, the Waterfords, the Limericks, everyone else that was out there put in front of them. They're here in today's final and ready to go from 4:30. Referee will be Ray Kelly. My name is Killian Whelan and I'll be bringing you the best of the action between now and about 10 to 6. And a very good afternoon to you, and you're welcome back here to UPMC Nolan Park for the second game of our double header. And of course this is the big title to be won out between Cork and Kilkenny. It's the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor Camogie A Championship final between two queen pins of the Camogie game. As you can see there, the players from both sides in with Ray Kelly, the experienced match official, the joint captains from Kilkenny, Ciara O'Shea there wearing the number 14. She is alongside, of course, her clubmate Jenny Saunders from Windgap, and then the Cork captain, of course, is Rachel Murphy. She, of course, needs very little introduction. Of course, she is the daughter of the great Stephanie Dunlea, of course, had played many a year with Cork, and Lynn Dunlea, of course, as well, her aunt. So she didn't lick it off the ground, as we would say, and she's a lady that will be one to watch in this encounter. Of course, she was on the Team of the Year last year, similar to Ciara O'Shea. Okay, so they're two star players, and we'll see how this toss goes as Ray Kelly hands out the coin. So Kilkenny are going to, they've won the toss, I think, and they're going to play into the wind and into the city end. We'll get an opportunity maybe when Owen swings around shortly to see, as we look at the Kilkenny setup. The camera is show you the flags and everything down at the far end here, and that gives you an idea of the wind that will be with the backs of Cork. And Brian, could that be important? You know, we saw Antrim when they got into a groove, you know, definitely conditions helped them, and the score taking that they had.
Yeah, it certainly picked up, I thought, in the second half of the game. Look, I don't think Antrim needed it at the end of the day, but it was a helping hand in the second half. Yeah, it could be, depends on how bad it gets or how stronger it gets.
Well, we'll go through the teams quickly because there will be formalities here before this, and Cork and Kilkenny line out as selected. So for Cork then in goal will be Anna Kearney of Blackrock. It's Ali McGrath of Éire Óg alongside her clubmate Leisha Hearn, and then Saoirse Cunningham of Erin's Own is in the left corner back position. The half back line then made up of two Ballinhassig and Newton Chandrum. The Ballinhassig pair are Millie Lombard at 5 and Aisling Cusson at 7, and it's Caelan Ryan then and Newton Chandrum at centre back. In midfield then it's Jess Murphy of Blackrock and Catra Murphy of Kinsale. Loads of Murphys on this Cork team, as you would expect. It's a huge name down there, none of them related. Rachel Murphy, the captain, wears 10. Clara Murphy of Éire Óg wears 11, and Castlemartyr's Ava McAuliffe wears 12. And in the full forward line it's Ali Mulcairns of St. Catherine's, Tara Goulding of Ballincollig, and Inishkeen's Maeve O'Brien. For Kilkenny then it's backboned by a serious crew from Loreto College, of course, who are All-Ireland School Senior A champions. It's Ella Walton in goal of Tullerone, Quiva Power of Windgap, Grace Brenda of Tullerone, and Jessica Smith of Barra Rangers. At half back line then Ciara Hickey of St. Lachtan's, Windgap's Ona Kennedy, and Taylor Aylward of Ballyhale. At centre field it's Rachel Phelan of John Locke's, who of course was also a player on the Team of the Year last year, alongside Eleanor Doheny of Tullerone. Eleanor of course has her sister in the subs there, Shannon, as well. And of course we also have Rachel alongside her sister Emily, who starts in the corner forward position. But in the half forward line it's Lucy Boyd of Clara, Aisling O'Sullivan of John Locke's, and Niamh Davis of Danesford. The aforementioned Emily Phelan then, as I said, alongside her sister in the team today. Ciara O'Shea, who also has her sister in the subs, Aisling. Ciara will be at 14. The joint captain from Windgap, was Team of the Year last year and has also represented Ireland at under 15 badminton. And in the left corner is Molly Conroy of St. Bridget's. Manager is David Marr, helped out by Pascal Walsh, Paddy Moore, Eamon Kennedy, Derek Brennan, and Chloe Kennedy, the FLO. Whereas Cork then, Leishman is the man in charge there, Mossy O'Sullivan out of Portlaoise, but a long time with Courcey Rovers. He's the manager. Trevor Allen, Liam O'Connor, Claude DC, Joseph Gallagher, Deirdre Looney, Stephen O'Mahony, Mike Ronayne and Cleona Cotter are the backroom team there. And we see both teams having a chat there with Brian Malloy. And Brian Brophy joining me on commentary here for this game as he was with the first. Brian, I was just looking at the Cork setup. Like, there's, I think 11 of them were involved in the under-16 All-Ireland victory 2 years ago. Like, that surely, bodes well for a performance out of this team, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. I mean, look, I think they won four in a row. Up the last year, they failed to get to 5 in a row at under-16. So, like, right through Cork, are the top county in the country. Their 16s, funny enough, beat Kilkenny by 2 points last week in the All-Ireland under-16 semi-final. Yesterday in the development, Kilkenny under-17s won by 2 points. And here we have Cork and Kilkenny again here today. So, ironically, when you're saying that, the Kilkenny team on the opposite didn't get in the top 4 out of 6 when they were under 16. Hard to believe, but they didn't, and it'll be an interesting contest.
How important is that Loreto success, though, in what the central spine here of all won in All Ireland with Loreto, of course?
It's absolutely massive, because I've made this point many, many times up in Dublin. Those Loreto girls are going to school with a hurl every day. So there's a ball in their hand, and they're used to winning. And you've got Una Kennedy, who played at 11 player of the match for Loreto in this year's All-Ireland final, is starting at 6 for the county in the minor county All-Ireland Championship. So it's just second nature to them. They're used to big games and they're used to big occasions.
And it is here at UPMC Nolan Park as we have our parade here. The Defence Forces, the Army in particular, are here with us today. And the 4 flag bearers that we have seen, the Leinster and Munster flags being led out there, but all 4 representatives of the Irish Army, I believe, previous anyway, have been camogie players, and they are here today for this All-Ireland under-16 final. Sorry, minor final. What am I saying? Under-16. I'm led astray by the under-16s and all the talk of the under-16s and how successful Cork have been, and obviously Kilkenny are here now to try and take this minor crown. How important is maybe the backdrop of UPMC Nolan Park, Brian, as well, from a Kilkenny point of view?
Well, you would hope it would inspire the girls. I mean, they've lost the last 3 minor semi-finals when the final was scheduled here. So this is the first time that they've got here since it's been played here, but you think it would be a great inspiration for those Kilkenny girls.
Yeah, as you can see, the crowd have come in as we prepare here for Oran Naveen. As we get ready. Cork girls in, they're getting fairly robust with each other as the Kilkenny girls are in their huddle, urging each other on. Rachel Murphy will be a key player in this Cork team, Brian. Kilkenny will obviously be keeping an eye on her, but there'll surely be others that will step up. Ray Kelly from Kildare is the man in the middle, a well-experienced referee. Standby Joe Mullins from Clare, Line Carol Collins from Galway, and Brian Deering is back as fourth official from Carlow. They're resplendent in their new green tops as Cork and Kilkenny get underway. After 7 seconds, we had the opening score of the game in the first game, and Kilkenny have won this and tried to drive it in straight away in the direction of O'Shea. Have we got the opening score? We have. It took 14 seconds, but that nails down a marker here, doesn't it?
Absolutely, a great score from Lucy Boyd. Great catch. Anna Doherty coming through from midfield, played it in, catch, turn. Thanks very much.
11 seconds on the clock, and we had 7 in the first game. Of course, Antrim went on to be victorious. They defeated Laois by 127-29 to win the Minor A Shield, and they're back up at Minor A Championship for next season. Kilkenny have turned the ball over here. They're attacking the city terrace end here off to my right hand side. Those of you know Ardon Brannock over across from us where the presentation would take place. We're in the Ardon de Grasse. Ardon O'Gerball is to our left on the Hebron Road, and the O'Loughlin Gales end of the ground, the city end terrace up to our right hand side, which is where Kilkenny will attack, and it's a decent ball inside, but it's cut out there by Aisling Cusson. Aisling, of course, was part of the Ballincollig team along with Rachel Murphy and Clara Murphy that won the Cork Championship for Colossia Cullum at schools level, as this ball breaks down, and Cork looking to come out with it here now with Ava McAuliffe was the intended pass, but it's fallen short, and there's 3-on-3 here at the minute, and eventually it's dug out by the Cork centre back Caelan Ryan, giving it off to Millie Lombard. Ballinhassig down along the wing it goes, looking for a movement out of Tara Goulding. Got a goal against Tipperary in their semi-final, defeating Tip by 213-110. Looking to drive forward, she still is driving, has to go backwards with it and give it to Clara Murphy. Murphy looking around her, eventually the shot is coming in, and Kilkenny goalkeeper quite happy to see Ella Walton, to see that ball go out to the right and wide. First wide after 2 minutes here, and we see, I think, gum shield or something like that being brought in from the sideline. And the puck out comes. So Cork have registered a wide, but Kilkenny have got the opening score, and that came after just 11 seconds here with Lucy Boyd from Clara and Loretto. As he said, an All-Ireland medal already in her pocket. Is she looking to follow up with an inter-county one? Ray Kelly decides it's going to be a throw ball between Rachel Phelan and Catherine Murphy. But it's Kilkenny's number 5, Ciara Hickey of St. Lachtan's, that knocks the ball up along the wing. Kilkenny on the attack here. Opportunity to maybe have a shot inside. Oh, Boyd was in there, and also Sullivan and O'Shea, I should say, bounce the ball back out. Kilkenny go for their second point of the game. It's up and over the bar. And they mean business here, Brian, in the early stages there. The joint captain getting her name on the scoreboard.
Yeah, great work for Rachel Phelan on her knees. Picked it up, played it up the line to Molly Conroy. Across, Ciara O'Shea picks it up over the bar.
Puck out to come then. So 2 points already. Anna Kearney from Blackrock knocking this ball along back there to be able to get it. Taylor Hailward, famed name of course in the Ballyhale neck of the woods. Up along the wing it goes. It's a great take there. Opportunity maybe to drive on here now with Niamh Davis of Danesford. It's just a goal between her. Full back for Cork coming across. Danesford lady. What a goal!
What a goal!
Slotted away with power by Niamh Davis of Danesford. Only had one thing on her mind. Drives the ball to the back of the net. And if we get something similar at Anfield, we'll be jumping off the gantry here. What an absolute cracking goal. And Cork already now in a bit of a fight here, Brian. 4 points, 4 minutes gone. They're down by 1-2 to no score.
Oh, superb score. Brilliant from Taylor Aylward. What a catch from Molly Conroy. Off the shoulder, Niamh Davis. And only one thing on her mind. Goal.
Absolutely went straight for the juggler, and Cork now have to compose themselves here and maybe slot this ball over the bar, because they've just been told essentially here that Kilkenny are in this game, and they're not just here to make up any numbers.
No, but early on in the championship they went 2-2 to no score down, I think, to Tipperary. So they have been here before, Cork, and they have turned it around, and that's the start.
First score of the game then coming from Clara Murphy. Got a point against Tip, and they need that maybe to settle the nerves. Ball is broken down by Kilkenny there, but it's worked out for Cork. Looking to get forward with Murphy now. Hunting for the corner. trying to get Ali Mulcairns on this ball. Ali looking to get inside her marker, has a shout if she wants, goes for her own opportunity, but it's driven out to the left and wide. And Cork just seem a little bit jittery, I would think.
Yeah, a little bit jittery, but she has pace, Ali Mulcairns, you know. She is a threat, but off target with that one.
Puck out to come then from
Ella
Walton. Jenny Saunders, of course, would normally be the goalkeeper. She's picked up the injury. She's the joint captain of this team, of course, with her Windgap compatriot. And eventually Walton has to come out and clear that ball. She gets a big cheer from the Kilkenny backroom. And the subs down here as ball is out towards the line. Looked like a push, but Ray Kelly happy enough that it's Cork player was playing the ball. I don't know about that. I thought she was hooshed out of the line with ball in hand, but play is going to be a sideline cut for Cork. Decent enough attempt, but it's straight to a Kilkenny player. And Kilkenny clear, so maybe a bit of justice done as this ball breaks now. Ciara O'Shea trying to get in there and disrupt it, but also in there winning that ball is Catherine Murphy. Catherine from Kinsale turns inside, shortens the grip, dropping this ball in, but it looks like it's gone out to the right and wide. I have to say Walton is fierce confident that those balls are dropping wide.
Yeah, well, Killian, she's a girl who started left half forward for the B team in this year's Leinster Championship, and obviously plays in goal though for Loreto, and obviously the injury to Jenny, she's a confident girl. I mean, she hits the frees as well when she plays outfield, so
that ball now turned over by Cork now when they're driving forward. Are they hunting the score? There's an opportunity to narrow the gap again, put it up. She said she's convinced Ava McAuliffe that was over the bar, but the umpire said no, and Ray Kelly was happy with what his umpire said, and it's another wide for Cork. 7 minutes gone, 1-2 to a point. It's the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final between Cork and Kilkenny, and it's got off to a great start with probably one of the goals of the championship scored by the left wing forward for Kilkenny, Niamh Davis from Danesford. Cracking effort here at UPMC Nolan Park. They lead 1-2 to a point, 7.5 minutes gone.
And that wind is strong because Ella Walton has a good smack of a ball, and you know she's not getting it that far.
Centre back Ona Kennedy, of course, her sister Ali is the sub-keeper on the Kilkenny senior team. Una, of course, also of Loreto. So you have Loreto representatives, as I said, and All-Ireland winners at 1, 3, 6, 9, 10. And they are, as I said, a strong central spine.
And here's the girl who got man of the match in that, and she's trotting forward to hit the frees, because earlier on in the competition she wasn't hitting them, though she hit them all for Loreto. So interesting, Una Kennedy's coming from centre back to hit the free just inside the 45.
The Cork management are already sending in a message. Brian Deering is having a look at the Mayor Fernet that's going in there. That ball has gone out to the right and wide. Kilkenny's first wide.
Yeah.
Brian Deering, I don't think, is overly happy maybe with the Cork management at the minute and some of the plays that they've been making as regards encroaching onto the field of play. I think he's trying to bring it to the attention of Ray Kelly, but those boys won't care if a change that they make wins an All-Ireland. Sideline cut over on the far side. So you're tuned to the Electric Ireland YouTube page, and you're watching the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Championship final between Cork and Kilkenny. And already, as you said, Kilkenny serving up a treat. Just gone into a little bit of a lull at the minute as maybe both teams starting to find their feet, and especially Cork, I think, trying to get up and going here. Moving over on the far side now. Catherine Murphy looking to deliver this ball. Looking to spin off it there was Ali Mulcairns, but Kilkenny doing the needful here, and they're playing into a very strong wind coming from the city end here. But cornerback for Cork doing well there, Saoirse Cunningham from Erin's Own. Ciara O'Shea is trying to hold up her progress, trying to get in there as well as Rachel Murphy. There's a hustling and bustling for this ball here. Both players not afraid to work on it there. Ciara O'Shea is still in there, also in there from Kilkenny, Ciara Hickey. But Saoirse Cunningham never give up on that. She was right and over, using her body to protect it. There was no way Kilkenny were going to get it out easy. Ray Kelly explained to both sets of players that they need to move back from the throw ball. Carol Collins, as he said, and Joe Mullins, the men helping him out. And a great block there by Cork's number 12, Ava McAuliffe. And the referee says that is a subsequent foul on Cork, and going to be a free in, an opportunity then for McAuliffe to deliver this long, looking for a little bit of movement inside. Can you look like they have an extra player back at the minute, just in the space? Maybe it's because of the free McAuliffe, yeah. And it was that free player then that ultimately was the one that picked up the ball. Maybe McAuliffe should have hunted the wings a little bit. But the ball has been turned over by Cork and trying to drive it on. Catra Murphy. Interchange of passes here now, but Kilkenny read the intentions and drive out there with Rachel Phelan, the John Locke's player. Is she trying to hunt out her sister Emily? Ball over on the far side. Kilkenny still coming with it, but Cork are there with their cornerback Ali McGrath from Éire Óg, getting it out here eventually to McAuliffe. McAuliffe playing very deep at the minute, knocking the ball forward. Players on the deck now, and it's, as he said, it's been quite muddled there at the minute as Kilkenny get the ball away. Down along the wing here now, looking for Kilkenny's corner forward Molly Conroy from St. Bridget's. But that ball is judged to be a Cork ball.
She pushed her free out. Free out to Cork. She just gave her a little nudge in the back.
You're anyway good as a cornerback. You're going to be getting your body in over the ball and waiting for that nudge, and you're going to go down as Cork try to move this ball quickly now. Opportunity, pull of the jersey as advancing on the ball. Ali McKern shortens the grip, puts it over the bar. I think she would have been deserving of a free in anyway, such was the pull of the jersey. But you've mentioned, I think, about Ali McKern's pace already, Brian, and she used it there a little bit to be able to get away from that full back line. Yeah, she's a pacey player. She gets out in front, she looks to take you on straight away, so Caoimhe Power will have her hands full. One score game then, 1-2 to 2 points.
Or Grace Brennan. Yeah. Here we go to her sister.
As the ball is moved down then to Phelan. Opportunity coming over from the far side then from Emily, dropping it in around the house, but Cork are there in numbers. Ball is heading over on that far side then, where McAuliffe gets it into her grasp, trying to keep it away from the attentions of Ciara Hickey. Down along the line it goes. Cork looking to build at this now. We're at the dressing room mention over that side. There's a referee over there for one of the teams trying to gesticulate which way that ball was going, but it's going to be a sideline cut for Kilkenny. Tense enough affair here. Management's down below us, keeping an eye on things.
A cut from Rachel Field.
A sideline cut. Returned by Cork, but it's out over the line. As he said, a minor competition, but the hashtag and the fame matched hashtag at this stage by Electric Ireland. This is major. Brian Deering just having a word with Kilkenny about amount of subs maybe they can warm up on the sideline. Again, there's all sorts of position switching. What do you have spot, Brian?
Yeah, I see Una Kennedy is more or less sweeping. She seems to be like Kilkenny have dropped one back.
Yeah,
and it's a position that she's played all year. I've seen her in friendly matches in games where teams play a spare one against them. She's normally the one who sweeps, but it looks like she's gone there.
Yeah, you saw her there in the picture just before we followed on the ball. She was standing on the 45 metre line on her own. So Kilkenny playing that extra player there at the minute and hoping then they can get it at the end, and here maybe an opportunity out of the traffic shot at the post there, but good hassling by Cork, you would say, as Emily Phelan didn't get a clean strike of that, and it's gone out to the right and wide.
Yeah, definitely.
1-2 to 2 points. 14 and a half minutes gone in the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Championship final, and a foul committed, and Cork maybe, I said we're a bit jittery, Brian, in the opening 7-8 minutes, seemingly now just starting to get a foothold a bit.
Yeah, getting a foothold, but in that particular instance, Taylor Aylward put her hand on the ground, the ball was on the ground, and needless free. And a chance now for Cork to reduce the deficit to 2 points.
Clara Murphy's already got a point. She's standing over this, sending it on its way, but it's gone up and over the bar. The umpire was taking his time with it, and it's a point for Cork, and it makes it 1-2 to 3.
Up to this, Shona Cronin had been hitting the freeze, but she's on the bench today, so I was wondering who would be on them for Cork, but we clearly know it.
Good bit of play there, kept it to herself. Catra Murphy being able to play it in and then looking to pop the pass, but the referee said she overplayed the ball. A nice little bit of skill to play it back to herself, and but then referee said that she overstepped it. Good hassling and hurrying from Kilkenny point of view. Coming forward in to take the free, centre back Ona Kennedy.
Needs to be hitting this at the left hand post. The wind is sort of from right to left down the field.
Strong breeze, as we said, from the city end right into her face, on which she looks to head this towards the goal.
That's it.
65 metres out, dropping it just over the 20 metre line. The ball is hopping around there. Someone's got to be careful. It's in a Kilkenny hand now, trying to get around the house there. Have a shot! Oh, ball is blocked away. Chance there that
Molly
came
Conroy.
away.
Molly Conroy. As Molly Conroy got
I was just trying to identify the number.
Normally when Molly goes onto her left hand side, it's a score, but Cork have cleared it.
She just probably didn't get enough power behind it ultimately, and it's tense enough. Linesman getting a bit of jeering from the crowd over on the far side, had to change the decision which way the ball was going. Keshar, a soccer fan watching, Spurs got an early goal, and Liverpool have got one back after a VAR decision, so to have that point, that would be enough. But of course, you're here watching us on Electric Ireland. All you're caring about is Cork and Kilkenny, and at the minute Kilkenny are the ones that are in succession with that cracking goal that came. I don't know whether we'll be able to call it up as a replay while we have a stoppage for the injury, Luke Owen, but we get to see it again. It was that goal from Niamh Davis after just 4 minutes. And we have an injury to a Cork player there at the minute, and that might give an opportunity. Here is an opportunity of points there. We'll just run through some of the early scores that Kilkenny got. That was Ciara O'Shea getting the second point. That came after 3 minutes, and here we go then. Here's the goal from Niamh Davis. Watch this, coming in at an angle and straight at the top corner on the far side. Brian, that's still a cracking effort. Definitely one of the goals of the championship.
At any level, that's a cracker. I mean, I'm sure she slept last night dreaming about that. Any young one.
Yeah, well, you're coming to
on either team. You have to.
Well, if you're from Kilkenny, you definitely want to be playing in UPMC Nolan Park, and you're quite happy to have been in there with that opportunity to put that ball in the back of the net. Bit of a lull now, as we said, with the injury there, so this is going to add a bit of time at the end. Who's this suit now, Cork or Kilkenny, in lots of ways, Brian?
I'd say Kilkenny, because after the start, Cork have got going a little bit. Now got it back to 2 points, but with the conditions the way they are, the breeze, I think it'll suit Kilkenny. I think you'd be thinking Cork need to be ahead of half time.
And so looks like all medical precautions are being taken over there with the Cork player at the minute, and it looks like we're going to have a change.
Yeah.
Management have seemingly made the decision.
20.
So, bit of a position switch going to happen. So, Ciara Keller of Clodove is in, and Ciara scored a point against Tipperary in that semi-final victory. Cork, their performance drew with Tip in the first game, won 11-3-5, then beat Dublin 18 points to 5, beat Kilkenny 3-10 to 113, and then Tipperary 2-13 to 110. And Kilkenny beat Dublin 4-16 to 7, drew with Tip 12 to 1-9, lost to Cork then, of course, we know, beat Galway and then beat Limerick. So management down here just explaining the whole situation.
Cork's spare player seems to be the full back in with Una Kennedy playing free on the opposite side for Kilkenny. Just looking at the setup, I'd be surprised if the Cork management leave it that way for a lot longer, that they don't push on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one as the decision that's going to be made. As we said, the hold up in play made the decision to replace the Cork player. And it looks like a shoulder injury or definitely an arm injury anyway, Brian.
Yeah, by the looks of it, I think they have her shoulder wrapped.
Heavy challenge.
Yeah. Hopefully she's all right. Probably be taken to St. Luke's.
Yeah.
In Kilkenny.
That'll be the hard part. You're getting an applause from the crowd over there. It's and you know, Catherine Murphy, it's going to be, as I said, a little bit of a tester now of Cork, you know, because she's been so much key and a strong key to their start, let's say. You know, she's been involved in a lot of their play in an effort to try and claw back a lead in some ways here.
Yeah, she's been doing well in midfield. The interesting thing for me is Cork playing Rachel Murphy at midfield today against Rachel Phelan. The two Rachels, to me, that's the matchup of today, because for me, Rachel Phelan is the heartbeat of the Kilkenny team, and on the other side, Rachel Murphy is the score getter of the Cork team. But they've gone and put her in midfield. Now, I think she played there the last day against Tip and was successful, but for me, she has to be in the forward line. I wouldn't be taking her in midfield against Rachel Phelan. We'll see how that pans out as the game goes along.
Yeah, so medical staff looking after Catherine Murphy over there as ball has been turned over and it's going to be a Kilkenny ball. And I'm sure poor Catherine now will be looked after the best and has to be taken, I imagine, to some medical facility to be looked after.
It's Una Kennedy's third go at a free. Now she is hitting into the wind and they are bringing her from centre back, but she's been unsuccessful with the two so far. This is the third one.
Ball is driven in and it's driven over the bar. And like Brian, after a stoppage in play that we've had now about 4 or 5 minutes ultimately, you know, that takes nerve to step up over that and put it over.
Yeah, absolutely, and she missed the other two. And it's one thing, they had Lucy Boyd hitting them during the year, and you know, she wasn't prolific, shall we say, on them. And they've obviously gone back to Una Kennedy, and you can see why.
Well, she put it over the bar and she's put it back out to a one-score game again as McAuliffe tries to get this ball into the corner. So, as he said, a bit of a stoppage, and that's affected maybe the momentum of the game. We wait and see how it goes. Jessica Smith of Barra Rangers trying to clear that ball over on the far side. It's very tight quarters over there. Cork trying to work it out, but it's Rachel Phelan, I think, that's the one that gets in and gets the clearance. It's a lovely take there somehow. As we nearly lost Luke over the gantry there. The ball breaks. Ciara O'Shea now trying to get movement on it. Goes down over this ball, and a challenge coming in there from Cork wing back number 7, Aisling Cusson. Cusson getting this ball forward, trying to get on it is Maeve O'Brien, and getting away now. O'Brien shortening the grip, driving this ball in. It'll be a good score if it goes over. And that ball has gone over the bar, and that's a good score from Maeve O'Brien.
A great score from Maeve O'Brien. Ciara O'Shea had about 3 goals in midfield to pick it up, didn't get it, comes down and over the bar. Maeve O'Brien, great score.
Great score indeed now. So that brings the scenario of where Cork, you know, chip back at the score again. It makes it a 2-point game, 1-3 to 4 points. Driving the ball forward now. Kilkenny looking to maintain, because they had started so well, maintain that lead, fighting it out here. Cork cornerback Saoirse Cunningham, have to say she's a sticky one, Brian. She doesn't give up too easy, but it's Kilkenny that have turned it over as Ciara O'Shea just gets out of the way of the hurl there, and the shot is going to come in from corner forward. Well, she's wearing 13. It's Emily Phelan that puts that ball over the bar, and it's gone out again to a 1-score game. Linking up quite well. She was out of the trouble, let's say, and in a right place. And Brian, you'd have to credit, like 40 metres out into that wind, that's a fair score.
A fair score from Emily, yeah. She's not the biggest, but she's a good one.
course, her sister Rachel, part of the team here. There's 3 sets of sisters as that ball was taken out over the line there. But there are 3 sets of sisters involved here with Kilkenny, only 2 starting, and that's the feelings from John Locks. So sideline ball then going to be taken here by Cork's number 8, Jess Murphy. Got a goal against Tip in their semi-final victory. 213 to 110 that result ended up. It's clouding overhead, but as they were saying, I think today it was going to be cloudy, not a whole lot of rain. And I believe a better week of weather ahead. If you're into that, everyone back to school as well after Easter break, all tomorrow. And I'm sure these girls would love to be going back into school with an All-Ireland trophy in their pocket as Kilkenny come hunting. Numbers there, 1-4-4, 26 minutes gone. I'd imagine we're at least going to have 3 minutes of injury time, if not more. And it's Cork that snaffled that up now. I'm sure Cork and Mossy O'Sullivan will be quite happy to stay in touch at half time here, considering the goal that they conceded. But Kilkenny leading into the breeze. The breeze doesn't seem to matter. And we saw in both games, I think it was eventually, even though the wind was behind Antrim, it was just Antrim were too strong for Laois ultimately in winning that minor A shield. But I don't think the wind is going to matter to Cork too much in the second half either.
And Kilkenny tactically now, Emily Phelan has come out from corner forward and she's come out to the middle of the park. So Cork actually have 2 spare players nearly
Mark
in the
and
defence.
Ciara O'Shea there at the minute. Oh, sorry, Boyd, I think. Isn't it Boyd that's in there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 against 1 inside.
Yeah.
But she's come out from corner forward and she's gone roaming around. Now midfield, she's gone the other side of the park.
All sorts of tactical play going on.
Yeah.
1-4-4 it remains. You're watching the Electric Ireland minor championship final between Cork and Kilkenny. And hopefully you're enjoying the fair. It's Cork that have turned it over again though, and they're slowly but surely trying to get going here again. And it's a right tactical and physical encounter. The foul there committed by Kilkenny's full back, and I'd say Ray is going to have words anyway. I don't know whether there's going to be a card, but I think it's definitely going to be a card.
Yeah,
that'll be a yellow card for Grace Brennan.
Ali Mulcairns is the dangerous inside forward. She has the bit of pace, and again, she could have been around Grace Brennan, but she wasn't letting her. Better to give away the free. Grace thought and let her in, but she's certainly Cork's go-to forward.
Grace Brennan from Tullerone. I wonder who was the influence in her first name down in Tullerone direction. As centre forward for Cork, Clara Murphy puts that ball up and over the bar, her third free of this first half. In a game and away, Brian, it's kind of struggled to get to life, and probably the little injury that happened to Catherine Murphy didn't help. It's just taken a bit of pep out of it as we have 1-4-5 here now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it started blistering with a point in the first 12 seconds and then the goal. But it has, I think, the extra player on each side now dropping back. It's gone defensive. I didn't catch who initiated it. It looks like Kilkenny, I would guess, playing against the breeze, have decided to sit in. And as I said, all through the year, I watched them in a friendly early doors against Limerick, who play a sweeper all the time, and Una Kendi, so she's so used to playing this role.
Ciara O'Shea and Aisling O'Sullivan linking up here. Ball is out of the grass though, is number 12, Ava McAuliffe. She's been standout for Cork, I would think, Brian, this first half, isn't she?
Yeah, very athletic player. Good. Rachel Murphy has hardly touched the ball.
Yeah. As Ciara Kelleher tries to get that shot over, but from that angle it was always asking an awful lot, and it remains 1-4-5.
I think they've got to find some way of getting Rachel Murphy into the game, Cork. I mean, for me, she's their standout player. And she's, like I said, I don't think she's touched it.
They've had the elements in the first half here, and they've only got 5 points of a number of wides. And McAuliffe is on this ball again. She's been absolutely everywhere. She plays that ball into the middle. Here is their centre back in forward, and eventually the ball breaks. Brian was trying to get in there, but it's taken away from her by Taylor Aylward, and eventually cross field ball now going to be delivered long. Cork having to come out strong, and again a player that stand up for Cork, Saoirse Cunningham, has been quite tigerish there as a corner back, and she's still in there fighting over that ball, but somehow it's Aisling O'Sullivan that's come out with it. The John Locke's player powering on, looking to strike this ball over the bar. That's a cracking effort from Aisling O'Sullivan. She dug in there, Brian. She beat 3 Cork players and put that ball over the bar.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Aisling O'Sullivan. Really, really good player. Really, really good player.
5 of the 6 forwards have now scored for Kilkenny, as Brian Deering has announced there to be 5 minutes of additional time. So after that injury and hold up for Catherine Murphy, and we hope she'll be okay. Went off, it looks like, with her arm in a sling, so could be a shoulder arm injury, we don't know. But Kilkenny trying to finish this half strong now, especially having played against the elements, coming driving forward, looking to offload the pass, given to Ciara O'Shea, took it into contact, and I think there was no doubt that's a free out. She went for the try line, I thought, Brian, a little bit, it kind of telegraphed it a little bit.
Yeah, she did, and it's one thing I've noticed in Camogie, though. You see the free is given out all the time as charging these days when you the contact like that. But other than that, again, great play from Kilkenny. Taylor Aylward, Emily Phelan, to Rachel Phelan. Just very, very interesting. I mean, Emily Phelan is now back towards her own 45 from corner forward.
So yellow card given to Ciara O'Shea. It's definitely one thing I'd love to change about the Camogie is the yellow card
straight
for
to the spare
those
player.
offence. But the ball has gone to the spare player, as you mentioned, and it's worked out here between Kilkenny with Ciara Hickey, St. Lachtan's player, looking to get this ball clear, but she's been charged down, and Rachel Murphy, as we said, we've hardly seen trying to get on this ball and move forward. Kilkenny have definitely targeted her, and they're going to ensure she's not going to get too much play, but despite 3 or 4 of them going after her, she's been able to win the ball back and move it here to this side of the field now. Cork trying to get something before half time to alleviate some of the pressure that they're going to feel in the second half. Knocking the ball in, it comes off the hurling side of Ciara Kelleher, and there's 2-on-1 situation, and Kilkenny quite happy to clear, but it's back down in the direction of Cork's spare player. It's standing on the halfway line here, Aisling Cussin very close to the line now, being marshalled there by their Kilkenny number 9 Eleanor Doherty and Ciara O'Shea on the deck now, right in front of Carol Collins, and this ball is going to be a throw ball. Ray Kelly has seen enough. The Kildare official looking for the players to go back away from the throw ball.
Sorry, it's got double.
Ball breaks out of that throw in, and it's a bit of a ruck here down below us again. Owen doing his best to get the camera at that depth to be able to show you what's happening, and there's a bit of a break on that ball that might suit Cork, but it gets away from McAuliffe. Probably one of the few times she's made an error in this first half. We still have 2 minutes of added time to play. 1-5 to 5 points. That goal, and a cracking goal it was from the wing forward Niamh Davis for Kilkenny, as Cork tried to one-handed get forward here with Clara Murphy trying to get to Tara Goulding, but it's Kilkenny that are battling on here now, trying to drive out with it, but getting back, winning that ball. Rachel Murphy starting to come into this game a little bit as this ball is dropped long, won't make the sideline, but Kilkenny and Cork battling it out now. Trying to go down it there was Kelleher, also Kilkenny full-back Grace Brennan. Ball is still there, being watched by the match official as tried to play it forward were Cork, but their linesman decides it's going to be a Kilkenny ball, and I think he's right there. It was came off the hand, or sorry, the foot I should say, of Cork corner forward Ali Mulcairns. And having played into the wind, I would imagine Kilkenny management are the happier here. Ultimately, Cork have just struggled to get going.
They have, yeah. I mean, Ella Walton hasn't been troubled in the goal. I think they'll be happy enough.
I don't think there's going to be any doubt there's going to be celebrations in Liverpool tonight. Having gone 1-0 down, they're now 3-1 up, and some of the pressure has been eased. Here the team in red are behind, having played with the elements, and probably would say they have struggled to get into the game. Jess Murphy hit the ball, and then she couldn't touch it in the second time, and she had a go at it, so it's going to be a free for Kilkenny. It's a throw ball, yeah. So, waiting for players to come in. I suppose it's not something the minor girls encounter too often, so weren't used to that and had to be called for by Ray Kelly, and eventually comes out for a sideline ball off the Kilkenny player, and it's going to be another sideline cut for Jess Murphy, making sure she connects with this one. Time is up now on our clock anyway. Ray Kelly allowing the play to continue, gets a good connection with it there, and big cheer from the back, the subs and everything down here below us, and play continues. Ray allowing the play to see what will happen if Kilkenny, you feel clear this ball, he might blow it up as the wing back over there, Ciara Hickey gets it, plays it into the middle, and Ray Kelly has I think called a half-time whistle. That is it, 1-5 to 5 points. It's a game that burst into life, had an injury, then held 5 minutes. I think the wind has got a bit stronger, Brian, that's a factor, and defensive play as well. It just hasn't, I suppose, how would I put it, entertained us as much as maybe the first game did.
No, but Kilkenny dropped 2 players out. Emily Fielding out in corner forward, doing the Kennedy, who's been used to sweeping all year, and dropped back, and I suppose they got the goal, they were 3 or 4 points up, so they're saying to Cork, well, come on, we're against the wind, we're happy enough the way things are. Be interesting to see what Cork now do at half time, and also what Kilkenny do. Will they set up with the spare one back with the wind and they're 3 points up, or will they now revert to 15 on 15 with the wind and go after Cork? It'll be interesting to watch out how that works out tactically.
You would feel in the first half though, Cork have played Kilkenny's game, I think. You know, they haven't seemingly played their own game at all.
Undoubtedly. I mean, I've never seen Rachel Murphy so ineffective and not in the game. I can't understand how they picked her at midfield at the beginning. For me, personally, after watching the points she put over the bar against us down in Cork. So it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what changes they make at half time tactically, maybe not personnel wise so much for Cork. Kilkenny, I think, definitely be the happier of the two, up a goal and have the conditions with them in the second half.
Yeah, a strange game in ways, but Kilkenny are, as you said, doing what they do well. You know, they're battling for every ball in on top of it. They've really just disrupted the flow that Cork have had. You'd have to say tactically they've got it spot on in the first half, haven't they?
Yeah, there's a girl there like in midfield from me, Eleanor Doheny. She's only a first year, one of, I think, of only 3 first years on the team, but just does that dirty work, that just little flick, get it, drive it in, just does the job, and that's the type of game it is, and it's suiting Kilkenny. They're just dogging it, really. Cork have the flair, McAuliffe, Murphy, but they're not been seen. Well, Kearns has threatened a couple of times, but they've kind of fouled her to make sure she doesn't get in on the goal. There hasn't been a shot.
Well, the doggedness that we heard about at the before we had the whistle thrown in from a Cork point of view is going to have to be shown in the second half, because they're going to have to battle the elements and battle the tactics that Kilkenny have in place, because here at half time at UPMC Nolan Park, the first half of the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Championship final, it is Kilkenny on their home patch that have the lead, having played against the elements. They lead here at half time thanks to a cracking goal from Niamh Davis after just 4 minutes. They lead at half time by Kilkenny 1-5 to Cork's 5 points. Rejoin us shortly. And you're welcome back to UPMC Nolan Park. All the festivities at half time are out of the way. Ray Kelly getting ready to throw the ball in here. Just watching, haven't seen any changes as actually there might be one coming from a Cork point of view.
Well, not changed, but positional. Rachel Murphy's gone to centre forward.
Yeah, which are probably going to be
they've
all right.
Pushed up. It's 15 on 15 at the minute.
I do see a slip of paper though gone from the fourth official.
Yeah.
So we'll confirm all matters in a minute. Cork number 18, Aoife Cotterill, is in. She's heavily bandaged around that right leg. I'll confirm who she's in for in a minute. As Cork go to clear now, and here's Cotterill trying to get on this ball. Takes it well coming out of the sky, the Ballinhassig player. Also one of those crew, of course, that won a under-16 title in 2023. Trying to get on that ball now. Kilkenny have something to hold on to, and they also have the wind at their back. Lots of heavy tussles going on already. And Cork maybe trying to lay down a marker. There's definitely no early score this time. But the lady that has been directing some traffic from centre back and being a spare player, of course, Una Kennedy, has 6 on her back, playing that kind of quarterback role, Brian, hasn't she? And now an opportunity to only get her second point of the game. She has missed one or two, but this should be easier with the wind on her back. Gets it a little bit high and batted down.
It's gone in.
Oh, it's gone in. Oh, it's gone all the way to the net. It's somehow. Now.
Oh, controversy.
Yeah, I'm just watching this now. The full-back is gone. I'm just looking at the ball. Yeah, no, it was a goal. I think it was batted by the full-back onto the helmet of the cornerback and into the back of the net. That's what it looks like. Fortuitous goal, but Kilkenny now have a 6-point lead here.
How many times do we see it though in ladies camogie? A miss-hit, for the point, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Like, there's no way Una Kennedy should have been dropping short as it was. She did throw it up a bit high for herself, and that probably was the reason why it wasn't a great connection, but it ends up in the back of the net. I don't think we counted as Una Kennedy's goal. It's more like an own goal.
Came out.
Huh?
No, the ball came out. I don't think we can give it to Una.
Yeah.
The ball came out.
Yeah, ball came out. It came off the back though, I think of... So Maeve O'Brien was the one called ashore at half time then. And Aoife Cotterill is in for her. So now Cork have it all to do. Find themselves 6 points down, Brian, and facing into a fairly strong win from the city end here.
Yeah, they're definitely up against it, and they haven't threatened the Kilkenny goal really at all.
We were just saying that there had been no early score as Kilkenny come on the attack here now. Good interchange of play. It's linking up here
again,
quite well.
Davis
from Davis.
Oh,
she catches it a bit
wide.
high, and it's gone out to the right and wide. She had the same thing on her mind, Brian.
Yeah, same angle as the first half, and she was going for it again, but this time she's missed the target altogether.
Good link-up play between Molly Conroy and Aisling O'Sullivan in setting her up for that. But as you said, that goal, and there's the take. And this is the thing now, Cork, Brian, gonna have to be very, very careful here. That they need to get a foot in this game somehow as O'Shea comes charging down the far side, looking to pop a pass here, and it's sent in and out to the right and wide. Kilkenny have rushed a couple of opportunities and could be further ahead here.
Yeah, you would expect Emily to get that. I mean, when she turned, I thought that it'll be a score, but she struck it wide, and if Kilkenny have converted the last two, they really could be halfway there. I mean, it's a bit like Antrim in the last game. They've come out on top and they're driving on, and Cork can't get out.
Driving forward, Hoosh is off for direct marker at that moment, and the ball is falling in here. Kilkenny now looking to come, and Molly Conroy has been very busy in these opening stages. That looks like a definite free in. Going to be, and Cork are just taking on a bit of water here, Brian.
Yeah, they are, and the link-up play. Some of the Kilkenny girls, like you've got Aisling O'Sullivan, Molly Conroy and Ciara O'Shea, all go to school together. And you see them little 1-2s, that little understanding, even though they're different clubs, they're in one school. And again, the Loretto girls, and you just see it, and it's shining through here.
The last time she stood over a free, it ended up in the back of the net of one of the Cork players. Here's an opportunity now, Una Kennedy. She puts this one, no problem at all, over the bar, and they're building on that lead.
It's it's so like the last game so far in this opening stages, you know, where one team has just come out and have had the conditions at their back and they're driving on.
So 2-6 to 5 points, 35 minutes gone. And that ball taken over the line by the Kilkenny player should be a Cork ball. And McAuliffe is trying to take the fight. Cotterill, who's in at half time, in here as well. But Cork now needing to get a foothold. They seem a bit shell-shocked, I think, and that goal won't have helped. I'm sure the message coming out at half time, they needed to stamp their mark on the game. And, well, they haven't unfortunately been able to do that. Kilkenny are full of life here, keeping that ball in play. And very well is Eleanor Doheny. Eleanor, of course, and her sister Shannon on this Kilkenny panel. Two ladies, of course, that have won an All-Ireland title with Loretto and also represented Loretto in All-Ireland, well, Leinster schools cross-country. I would have seen them in Dublin a few months back. As, of course, Una Kennedy, who's enjoyed the opportunity of being that spare player, sitting back, mopping it all up and taking these frees, stands over this now, just below us here in her own half, as they attack the Ardano Garbalik. As ball is batted away, and it looks like Kilkenny player tried to flick that on to herself, but it's gone out to the right and wide. Chance gone a begging. That might be the only thing that the Kilkenny management might be unhappy about. They've missed a few chances not to build on the goal, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I don't think Cork have got over the halfway line the second half since we started.
Not yet, no.
And, you know, so here they go now. They should be over it.
Yeah, their star player in this game, McAuliffe, trying to get this ball forward now. They need to get something going, and centre forward is trying to drive on. Here is Clara Murphy. She got 3 points in the second half. As we said, we haven't really seen a whole lot of Rachel Murphy. One of the standout players last year, was on the team of the year. As he said, comes from a rich enough pedigree. Trying to be helped out here, and Ciara Keller taking this on. Aoife Cotterill is also in on the play, was involved there. Ball is a dangerous one in, fell out of Ella Walton's hand, but she did enough to take it away from the attentions of the Cork number 12 Ava that was coming in there.
Yeah, it was dangerous ball in. She lost it for a minute, but her composure was brilliant afterwards. You know, didn't panic, flicked it aside, picked it up, knocked it out, and now it looks like it'd be a free out for Kilkenny. Very, very confident player, Ella Walton. You can see she plays out the field, you know, most of the time. But
yeah, she wasn't afraid to come out and take that ball, and then even when it did fumble away from her, she was able to keep her alertness and touch it away. Yeah, no panic at all.
No panic at all.
And I think have we another yellow card handed out there? Yeah, I think the referee giving the yellow card to Ciara Kelleher. Brian Corker, at this moment, they probably need a goal, I would think, here.
Yeah, and they don't look like getting it either, Killian, to be honest with you. They just haven't got going at all, really. I mean, that was a little bit of fumble from Ella Walton, but other than that, no. While Kilkenny, Niamh Davis has flashed one wide, Molly Conroy nearly had one. I think there's more chance of it coming the other end at the minute.
Good play, cornerback play by Saoirse Cunningham. She'd probably Anna McAuliffe. They've been, to me, the two standouts for Cork in this encounter, and they need something to happen now. Murphy getting on this ball. As we said, we haven't seen a whole lot of her. She's trying to drag this team up the field. McAuliffe is off her shoulder. McAuliffe now looking to spin in, does it very well. Pops a pass inside now. Cork linking up well, but there's Kilkenny numbers there, and it's cornerback taking it out there.
Kennedy.
Jessica Smith, Una Kennedy, all in there, looking to dig this ball out. Cork are still there though. McAuliffe, as I said, the standout player for me from a Cork point of view, looking to flick this ball over the head of the Kilkenny attacker. Ball is driven in, but it's going to fall into the hand of Walton. She has to take it away again. She's been hooshed off it. Opportunity for Cork. Looks like it's going to be a certain penalty. Yeah, it is. And Walton, maybe there was a situation there early on, we got warning of it, but that ball fell, and Cotterill was trying to get in on that ball, and she was pulled by the waist, and no doubt about it. We can see it here, and it was a good bit of play, and then swung around.
Yeah, Jessica Smith pulled her back.
Jessica Smith pulled her back, yeah, and it's a yellow card.
She did the right thing. You know, and here's an interesting one, Killian. It's a long time since I've seen a goal scored from a penalty in Camogie. I have to say now.
Yeah, Rachel Murphy.
We might see one here in a minute, and it's Rachel Murphy
Yeah, Cork are about to prepare a sub coming in. It looks
she's
like
definitely
it's
taking it a
number
good bit
19, Shona Cronin, is about to come in.
Yeah, she's definitely taking a good bit back from the 21. She's given herself plenty of room to run up with this.
Yeah,
to the goalie's right.
The 20-metre line
there
going to strike. Oh, comes off the woodwork. She's still there with it. There's a Cork player inside. McAuliffe wants it back. McAuliffe has a go at it. Cork, you would feel, need to get a score here, Brian, or it's a huge psychological lift for Kilkenny. But it's Kilkenny that have dug it out and are about to break out with it. It's an advantage to them. Referee giving a free. That's a huge moment for Kilkenny, you would feel.
Yeah, as like I said, Killian, I'm watching Camogie an awful long time now, but especially since the rule has come in from the 21 and 1, I'm not seeing penalties being scored, and I do wonder, do they practice them enough? I mean, again, it's high. It's like, well, I'll get the point maybe anyway, and we'll get a score. You know, it really needs to be driven low to one side of the keeper. And like, it deserved a goal, Cork. I mean, the move they were in. And I'd say the Kilkenny manager probably give Jessica Smith a pat in the back for giving it away.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see why. As if they go on and win in All-Ireland, that could be a decisive moment. You would feel it might have given Cork something to build on, because as I said, they haven't really got into this game at all, but they have turned this ball over. And here's Murphy now, Rachel Murphy. There's 4 Murphys, of course, we'll have to decipher, but this is Rachel now driving away. She's a key player for Cork, driving the ball in. I don't think she meant that, but this ball could work out. But Walton is there, big and strong this time, taking the ball away and flicking it out. She may have got caught once, Brian, but she wasn't going to get caught a second time.
No, she's very skillful.
Ball is down the other end of the field now, trying to get on this ball, and maybe we're starting to lighten up here a bit. Molly Connery was taken away from Cork now, trying to drive out middle of the field. Driving on with it here is Jess Murphy. Jess got a goal, as he said, against Tip in that semi-final victory, trying to play this ball forward. Cork have to get something now in the next, you would feel, 5 or 6 minutes to have something to cling on to and work on for the last 10 minutes of the game, because it could very quickly just go away from them. But again, who's it there? It's Una driving and getting away with that ball, dug it out of the traffic and trying to release it down the far end of the play. Cork maybe buoyed by the taking an opportunity, starting their backs anyway, are out in front of the ball for probably the first time ever, trying to win it there and hold on to it with Saoirse Cunningham, but she'd been turned over, probably didn't get enough support, but she's in fighting for that ball, in fairness to Cunningham, and eventually then is taken on by Cotterill looking to have a swing at it, hooked on that ball, goes down the second time, gets the pass off to McAuliffe, who's a standout player, into the middle it goes now, trying to drive on with it is Jess Murphy, probably one of the best periods of Cork play that we've seen. Rachel Murphy, she drove on once and she ended up in a penalty for Cork. Look at the drive forward, settles on it, puts it over the bar. Is it out to the left and wide? That would have been huge, Brian, you would feel.
Yeah, absolutely. She's finding that little pocket of space since she's gone out of midfield. I said it before half time, I couldn't understand what she was doing in midfield. She's causing trouble now. I think Kilkenny will have to look at it, and to be fair to Cork now, they have threatened. And here's a girl that's come in for Kilkenny now at full forward, has 3 goals in the last 2 games, 1 against Limerick and 2 up in Galway, and was injured at the start of the year. Herself and Ciara Hickey were in the panel but hadn't played, and now she's gone in at full forward.
It's a switch of the Saints, St. Bridget's to St. Martin's. It's St. Martin's, a Muckalee player that's come on the field of play, Shona Rowan, and she is in here. 44 minutes gone, 2-6-5, and it's Cork looking to bite again, but Kilkenny there in numbers. They're tenacious, I have to say, Brian. That's been one factor. Their work rate has been massive.
Yeah, it's just a given in Kilkenny, isn't it? It's a given. It's just a given. They're just at you.
Ball is out over the line, over on the far side. As we said, it's into critical time now. We're nearly heading towards the last quarter here in this encounter. It hasn't been anything to write home about. Kilkenny have got a classic goal and then got a bit of a fluke. And that's really been the difference here. Cork haven't threatened other than that penalty opportunity that crashed back off the woodwork, and then they got nothing out of it. Cotterill, in fairness, haven't come on at half time trying to drive on her team, but Kilkenny, as I said, they're in numbers again, stopping the play. They've just dogged it out here as Cork tried to build on it again with Millie Lombard Ballinhassig trying to get the ball over on the far side, but it's Cork that have coughed it up the possession again. Kilkenny raid down on the far side. You'd feel if they get a score in the next 30 seconds, Brian, it could be maybe curtains for Cork here, but Cork still fighting on here. Ball is lost forward though, hits the deck, and when too often it hits the deck, it's not good from a Cork point of view, because Kilkenny are the ones that are mopping it up. Good defensive play, tenacious action again from the Kilkenny team. Ball breaks away from one number 12 to the other. Niamh Davis, the goal scorer, gives it to McAuliffe up along the wing. Lovely little bit of touch there by Cork's corner forward Ali Mulcairns. Further up along the line it goes now, looking for a little bit of movement here. She does that very well to hold off the attentions there, Aoife Cottrell, but ball has been taken away, and it's a good take, you'd have to say, from that clearance by Taylor Hailward. Gets it down along the line now to Niamh Davis. Davis leaving the other number 12 behind. Davis still going, shortens the grip. Didn't mean that pass, but it could work out for Kilkenny. Ball breaks on the edge of the large square. Ray Kelly's keeping an eye on things. Could be a foul possession here. Cork player all over. Kilkenny trying to fight it out, digging it out, and eventually he's going to throw the ball in. That could have been close for another penalty, Brian.
It could have been. I mean, look, they brought Sean Irwan on in the last two games. Like I said, been injured all year. Come in against Galway, 2 goals. In against Limerick in the semi-final, a goal. And that's why they've thrown her in now at the edge of the square. But it's better from Cork in the second half. Much better, as far as I'm concerned. Much more of a game. I don't know tactically what they were at the first half.
Yeah, but is it too far for them to reach back? Now we're into the final quarter. 2-6-5. Cork have been much better, but they still haven't got scores on the board. Half time they had 5 points. They still have 5 points. Kilkenny had 1-5, and they've now got 2-7 of that. Yes, they have. Ball is put over the bar. Point coming from number 13, Emily Phelan.
Yeah. Like herself and Una Kendi are first years.
Yeah, first year minor. They are showing away here a little bit. Now Cork, to me, Brian, are all up against it now. Lots of things have to go right in the next 15 minutes, and if you keep throwing the ball away like that, it's not going to work out. Kilkenny, of course, have a strong wind at their back. It's getting blowier up here. We're high in the gantry, of course, above the pitch, and the flags are straining on the flagpoles down to our left hand side at the Ardonagher ball. As this ball played in now, Kilkenny know they have a lead to protect. They can have 8 points of a lead. Cork now need to find the back of the onion sack, and I would say it twice in the next while. McAuliffe then looking to play this ball forward, looking for Cronin inside, but there's Una Kendi standing in position, looking to come out with it. The ref is going to give a free in, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit unlucky on Una Kendi. Her arm was up in the air as she'd won the ball and couldn't get it down quick enough, and the Cork player ran into her, I think, more so.
I think it was more against Grace Brennan, kind of third man tackle holding the
girl
I missed
off
than it was Una, though he's talking to Una.
Yeah.
But, a strange one for me too.
I would agree with Una Kendi. She's probably saying to Ray Kelly, what could I do?
Yeah.
Her arm was up and high in the air. I think it's more a case there, Cork player probably getting the free, buying the free, whatever you call it, and Una's picked up the yellow card.
Look, we had the same problem, I can say, with Dublin. You've got to bypass her. You know, again, you've got to, when Cork players have the ball, they have to just keep it away from her. She's kind of sitting in the pocket, as they say, and mopping up.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And Cork finally get their first score of the second half, and it comes from their number 11, Clara Murphy, her 4th point of the game.
I mean, they've only 2 points from play, Cork. Kilkenny have
the tactic around Rachel Murphy, that is the question mark you'd have to feel. Ball breaks now and trying to go back. Kilkenny know they still have obviously a 7-point lead that they can manage out now with 12 minutes to go. Cork need goals. Rachel Murphy now being urged on, but it's asking an awful lot of one player in particular, trying to drive it down into the corner, looking for a bit of movement out of Cronin, but Cronin's behind the play there a little bit, and it's well played by Kilkenny's defence there, being able to work together, and it is Jessica Smith that eventually gets it clear. The Barra Rangers player trying to get it down here towards Niamh Davis, got that cracking goal in the first half. She's been helped out by Taylor Aylward, who have to say has been a bit of an unsung hero for Kilkenny.
Yes, very good player, Taylor, very athletic, very good, and she's won the free. Taylor, he gave the advantage.
Taylor Aylward, to me, again, a standout player on this team, but I think now it's someone would be resigning their fact that it's getting away here from Cork. Maybe if that penalty had gone in, you feel you have something to fight, but 6 points now to make up. It's going to take an awful lot. And this is, of course, a Cork team that bounced back from the draw against Tipperary and then beat Dublin well, beat Kilkenny, beat Tip. So they have their performances, have found goals, but they haven't rarely threatened Walton's goal, apart from one maybe that she dropped and ultimately led to a penalty that Cork subsequently hit the crossbar. Una Kendi puts everything behind that, dropping it in. It's a dangerous enough ball again. Breaks off a Cork hurl. The last time it did that, it ended up off a defender and in the back of the net. Kilkenny have the ball, but it looks like a throw, and Ray Kelly a free out. Chance to lift it now. Cork have 10 minutes to perform a miracle here.
Yeah, it must have been a throw if Ray gave it. He normally lets it go.
Anna Kearney of Blackrock with her hands in the air looking for someone to make a move. She sends it towards Rachel Murphy, but the wind, oh well, I think she kept that in. Oh, I think that's a little bit unlucky from the angle I was at, but look, linesman is a little bit closer. I thought McAuliffe had kept that in. Yeah, I thought she did enough when looking at the replay there, but linesman has given it.
A bit like Mark Fanning last night, Wexford and Dublin. He was on the line.
Yeah. Ball played forward. Brian will have to start thinking about a player of the match. I think it's all going to be coming from one side. You'd have the likes of McAuliffe and Saoirse Cunningham would have, I think, have played well for Cork. McAuliffe then is involved there and getting the ball to Ali Mulkerns. Mulkerns down along the line to Rachel Murphy. Cork have to go for broke now. They just have to take chances. Murphy has Cronin maybe inside her, but she's going for her own score. Be a hell of a score if it goes over the bar. Wide. No, the umpires made the decision. Eventually it was out to the right and wide.
Yeah, it was a tight angle, but you can see the pace, and the striking that she does have. 19.
Number 7 coming off for Taylor Aylward. I'd say
Shannon Doheny.
Shannon Doheny joins her sister Eleanor then on the field of play.
And the twins are both on the field.
Yeah. So Eleanor and Shannon and the Phelans. So Doheny's and Phelans all on the field. Of course, older sister Anna, I think, is an All-Ireland medal, isn't she, as well?
Lucy Boyd.
I'd love to see Taylor's stats, Brian. If there's a GPS on her, she covered some amount of ground up along this wing here.
Yeah. She's so athletic. Again, when he played with Dublin, we said, don't puck it down her side. Simple as that. Just don't puck it near her. Because she has the ability to carry it back the other way. She's a very athletic girl.
David Maher looking to his bench again. He's going to freshen the legs up, but they are in a commanding position, as we know. As we said, this game really failed to ignite, but Kilkenny won't care. They manage it very, very well. And I'm firmly of the belief, Brian, you mentioned it, I think, in the first half, the Loreto spine really is a key element of this performance here, isn't it?
Yeah, and the school in Callan.
Yes.
The community school in Callan. You've Aisling O'Sullivan, you've Ciara O'Shea, you've Cueva Power, you've Molly Conroy. All school there, but especially 3 of their front 6, and you just see that togetherness. I mean, if you're in school all day together with a hurl and hitting the ball,
absolutely,
it has to help.
Yeah, makes a huge factor. That might be just one thing counting against Cork here a little bit.
When you see Cork a bit like Dublin, a bigger county,
yes, they're coming from a bigger spread.
Girls are not going to the one school, and that's the difference. But then you have the numbers, and look, Cork are,
But then Cork are driving this in, and Walton controls this, takes it into her hand, and stuff like that won't work out. With 7 minutes remaining now, you're already thinking of whatever words Ciara O'Shea and Jenny Saunders are going to be saying, because it looks like after failing to get to a final when it was on their home pitch, they eventually look like they're going to break that curse, Brian, and take an All-Ireland title home on their home turf.
Yeah, and just a bit of omens on that, Killian. Last time they won it, they beat Cork, and in that time, the quarter-final they beat Limerick, semi-final they beat Galway. This year, quarter-final beat Galway, semi-final beat Limerick.
And
now
like
it looks like they might beat Cork in the final.
Something dramatically happens as Cork tried to drive on here with Jess Murphy. She's tried hard here. If you're thinking of players in the match, Saoirse Cunningham, Jess Murphy, Ava McAuliffe from a Cork point of view, Rachel Murphy maybe in the second half, but Kilkenny, they've had players all over the field, Brian, at various different stages. that we're going to have to be thinking about player of the match shortly, because they'll be up here to us.
Yeah.
Taylor Aylward surely gets a mention. Una Kennedy done the needful everywhere she was. Emily Phelan.
And the last girl just played the ball there for me, Anna Doheny. Like I said, very doesn't stand outish, but just does what it says on the tin.
Loose ball there. Kilkenny looking to drive on this now. Opportunity maybe. Could be bearing down. This could be the cherry on top. Ball is struck to the back of the net. And that's it, Brian. The cherry is on the cake.
Yeah.
Ball is in the back of the net, and it's the tenacity again.
Emily Phelan.
They just haven't given up today. They've been absolutely ravenous when the ball is broken there.
I've seen her do that many times, Killian. You know, and the minute she got it, only one thing in the mind's the goal.
There was never tapping it over the bar.
No, it's not tapping it over, even though they were winning by 7 or 8 points. It's no tapping it over, take the point. Here she goes again.
So, well out of the gap now. 3-8 to 6 points as that ball drops in. It comes down off of the goalkeeper. 3-7, sorry. My apologies. I was given the extra score as well as the scoreboard. Apologies. 3-7 on. I think a goal and a point went up on the scoreboard. My apologies there. But Kilkenny well on target here now. Brian, again, like, it's a head scratcher from a Cork point of view. They just didn't get into this game at all. Kilkenny managed everything about it ultimately.
Yeah. The penalty might have changed it. Had they scored at the time, they had a bit of a momentum. But other than that, they really haven't been, as the fellas say, they haven't turned up. And a very interesting one, Killian, they won 4 16s in a row. This group are a combination of 2 winning All-Ireland, or 16 teams.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to be. Last year I think they got beat by Waterford in the semi-final, and they beat the year before, so they haven't been able to transfer that 16s into minor success.
Yeah.
You know,
but you would feel tactically everything. Kilkenny got it right, matchups right, decided even to take on the Wind and Cork in the first half, get a goal early on, and then were able to build on that ultimately.
Sorry, Shefflin.
So, Saif Shefflin of fame, Shefflin fame, of course. Dad Henry.
Man the match.
Thinking about player of the match, all right, yeah. As he said, from a Kilkenny point of view, you mentioned there Eleanor Doheny, Una Kennedy. I'll go with you, Brian, whatever, taking the nod. Some of these players that dictated the play.
One too, but for me, the girl on the ball again, she got man the match for Loretto, and for me, she's just managed that defence.
Yeah.
And
I'd be thinking Una Kennedy.
Una Kennedy for me.
Yeah, she just dictated everything.
She's dictated everything, you know.
She's number 6. So Una Kennedy is our nod here for player of the match anyway.
Yeah.
Just as I said, they directed the whole play.
She's like the quarterback,
being made.
Said.
Yeah, like the quarter. Yeah, I just think she took responsibility. She was everywhere when anything was coming from a Cork point of view, and she set up the others. I know there's been good performances out of Ciara O'Shea, Emily Phelan. Niamh Davis were probably the goal of the championship.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Rachel Phelan, Eleanor Doheny at stages, but Taylor Aylward surely has to get a mention. I wouldn't say there's any of the 15 there that haven't ultimately contributed.
No, it'd be hard to pick a player for Kilkenny. Like, they had a bad game. They all just worked their socks off from 1 to 15. And I just thought, tactically, right from the get-go, Rachel Murphy in midfield for Cork made, that's just a personal thing now, made no sense to me. And Kilkenny got the crucial goal, and then they dictated it then tactically. Again, a girl who's made
Saif Shefflin and Rebecca Hayden, they're 2 players that have come in there. Cork making a substitution there as well. Kate O'Sullivan is coming in for Kelleher. Ciara Kelleher is coming off. I think picked up a little bit of a knock. But I'm sure a bit of head scratching from a Cork point of view. They'll have a look at this, having, as he said, won so many under 16 titles that they haven't been able to produce it then with this crew. And here go. This will be some score. It's just tailing off to the left there. Niamh Davis trying to add to her goal. She's been a player again as well, Brian, that maybe given up some of her ability of going for goals or going for points, whatever, to work tenaciously. They've just all worked fairly doggedly. Jessica Smith is down at the minute. I'd say a bit of cramp as they're waiting to bring in a substitution here. She's just covering the play at the minute. Looks like she's limping a bit on the right leg. But look, there's Una Kennedy again, Brian.
There's Una Kennedy reading it again. You know, that's the thing. It's superb.
But did Cork play into her hands a little bit?
They did. You can't let her sit. And
Davis.
You can't let her sit and sweep, Killian. You have to push on her. Especially the first half. Cork had to breathe.
Yeah, it made no sense.
It made no sense.
Yeah, you should have marked her.
You should have marked her. Yeah, you've got to push up on her. You can't. Here we're looking down here now, and again they've 2 back now, but it's near the end of the game. The other thing too is Kilkenny have now scored 13 goals between the quarter-final and the final. 6-4 and 3. That's some going.
It is, absolutely.
You know, that's 13 goals. I mean, it's Rachel Murphy now.
4 minutes of additional time then was been petering out for a while. Opportunity now for Cork, but look at the numbers that are back for Kilkenny. Still an opportunity though, looking to get something on the scoreboard, but it's a blocked down again by that Kilkenny defence. And this game coming to a conclusion. You're watching the coverage of the Electric Ireland All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Championship final between Kilkenny and Cork, and the home side look like they're going to take this home. Once that goal went in, definitely there was no question about Emily Phelan 5 minutes ago when she put it at the back of the net. That was it. Now what the Cork work here, they have to work something short, and they do, but Kilkenny are all over that, and that just sums up Cork's day, doesn't it, Brian?
Yeah, it does. Look, they had to try. Here goes Sive. What a sub to be able to bring on.
Well, they had to try something, Cork, but it just goes to something that the pass didn't even go. Player wasn't able to gather it, and chance gone a big one.
Thanks to our streaming service for picking our player of the match for today's match. And the winner of the Electric Ireland Player of the Match for the Minor All-Ireland Final 2025 is Kilkenny's number 6, Una Kennedy.
So hopefully we'll hear from Una. We heard it officially announced here in the ground. We got some recognition for picking that one, Brian.
She'll have to get herself a cabinet. That's the second one this year, Killian.
As the ball is dropped in by Cork and it's put over the bar. That's a fine score, but it's only their second point of the game, and it comes from their number 19, Shauna Cronin.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 points from play from Cork. If somebody had told me that before the match, I wouldn't believe it.
Wouldn't have believed it, yeah, absolutely,
no.
With the form that they're showing. 3 goals, the difference. Goals win games, as they always say. Don't forget victories this weekend at minor level. Minor C went away Wicklow 5-8 to 1-8 against Tyrone Armagh. Were 4-14 to 1-8 victors in the minor B over their Ulster compatriots down. Antrim victorious against Laois by 127 to 2-9 in the A Shield here before this game, and it looks like a Leinster team are going to be victorious in the minor A final. Kilkenny leading by 3-7 to 7 points now with a minute and a half to go. Cork going for a bit of broke here and a little bit of pride, maybe trying to fight on. The referee going to give them a free in and a chance now to get another one. The shout from the line won the goal as Kilkenny bring off Ciara O'Shea now.
Michelle Killeen.
Chance for Ciara O'Shea to settle down and get her words together as she gets ready to accept the trophy alongside Jenny Saunders, her clubmate and joint captain, of course, as Michelle Killeen of St. Lactans comes in. Shot there, batted away. And in fairness to Walton, she made one little error, and she's able to, since then, realistically, Brian, they've had 2 shots at her and she's repelled both of them.
Oh no, she's very good, even though she plays outfield with the club and the rest of it. Like I said to you, she's so very good.
You'd imagine Cronin has to drop this in around the house. There's not too many red jerseys in there though, and there's 20 seconds remaining. This could be the last play. Cronin though gets a little bit too much purpose on it and drives it over the bar. That's her second point. She got 2 against Tipperary. She's got 2 here
She's an excellent free taker, Shauna Cronin.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to just come on, hit 2 frees.
Absolutely.
Straight over the black spot both times.
378 points,
Excellent.
though. 10 scores to 8. Tell you, the goals, so. And Brian, it all started with Niamh Davis's goal, you know, and ultimately Cork were chasing their tails after all that, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually the big score of the game. Oh, Sive Shefflin.
That's a lovely score from Sive Shefflin.
Father be proud of that one.
Absolutely. Fought for that well. Put it over the bar.
As I think you said earlier, Killian, she didn't lick that off the ground.
And there you have it. Disappointment maybe in a kind of a fair quality or whatever you want to call it, but you can't deny the work rate of this Kilkenny team. Led at half time by 1-5 to 5 points and stamped their authority again, Brian, at the start of the second half. It was a fluky, lucky goal, but ultimately it just took the air out of the Cork balloon if there was any hope, wasn't it?
It did, yeah. Look, it was a lucky goal. She was going for a point, but right from the start of the second half, a bit like Antrim in the Shield, they came out and they just took over. And realistically, Cork weren't in it. They had a little patch where they came forward, got the penalty, really needed to convert it, but they just weren't at it today. They just weren't at it. It's one of them things. Kilkenny thoroughly deserved to win from start to finish, the better team. And it's their work rate. I think you mentioned it yourself, Killian. It's that work rate from everybody all the time, nipping at it. Totally the best team.
Yeah, there's a lot of deflated girls down there. I see one in front of me. I have to give her a mention. I thought Tara McAuliffe Ava McAuliffe, I should say, from a Cork point of view, was one player that tried. You see her there just despondent now at the minute, and in fairness, some of the Kilkenny players and mentors have come over and shook their hands and congratulated her on her performance. She tried, and Saoirse Cunningham as well, from a Cork point of view, probably would be one other I feel that has to get a mention. But a lot of, like Brian, we could have picked a couple of players at the matches, like the influence that they had, but let's talk about Una Kennedy. She just sat in a pocket in the first half, mopped it all up once Kilkenny started to take control. They held on, they got in at half time, having played into the wind, and then just were able to add to it. But she was everywhere across that 45 metre line.
Yeah, look, Killian, I went down to watch a friendly between Limerick and Kilkenny at the start of the year, and Limerick played a sweeper and she played, and then she dropped into it, and it's just like it's second nature to her. Even though she's a first year, she plays like a senior, like an old head, and she just reads the game so well. And like I said, you really have to keep the ball either side of her, away from her. She's like that quarterback you mentioned, and she controls the game and brings a calmness to it then. Outside of that.
Well, I think if you're a goalkeeper or your full back line or whatever, if you see your number 6, now I know she probably didn't ultimately play at centre back, she was everywhere, but when you see someone that's in so much control and command, you can really play with a little bit of release, can't you?
You can, yeah, absolutely. The rest can just go all play around her.
Yeah,
that's the brilliant thing. Going back to Cork, like McAuliffe, to me there, just looking at her down below, I was here dejected, but she looks like a Cork senior player to me.
Absolutely.
She has that athleticism, that off the shoulder running. I think we'll be seeing her again.
Yeah, she definitely
at senior level. It's the bigger picture.
Yeah,
if you're looking at it from that point of view. Again, I thought Saoirse Cunningham was very, very good for them as well. Rachel Murphy showed one or two flashes again. But to me, as a Cork senior player,
I don't want to be harsh on management. You would probably feel the way they set her up didn't ultimately suit the whole game plan that she might have been about, did it?
No, not for me. I mean, we played them. I think she got 5 points from play against us, and she went from half forward to full forward. I couldn't understand. The Kilkenny midfield for me is the best midfield in the championship. Rachel Phelan and Anna Doherty, they're like yin and yang. They just go up and they work, and putting your best player in against them, against those two, didn't make sense, in my opinion. Obviously they had their reasons for it, but it didn't work. One thing we can certainly say, it didn't work out. Would it made any difference? I don't know. Kilkenny overall, a great goal, a lucky goal, and then a typical goal, a corner forward dispossesses the corner back, and bang.
And bang. As we pause, then we're going to hear from Uachtaráin Cumann Brian Malloy is going to bring us the presentation and player of the match, and also the cup presentation, and we'll hear from the victorious Kilkenny squad in the next couple of minutes. Do stick with us.
Associated with UPMC Nolan Park for making such a fantastic set of facilities, pitch and facilities available to us today. It makes a huge difference when our girls are given the opportunity to play their finals on the top facilities. And I'd ask you all to give a round of applause, please, to everybody associated with UPMC, Nolan Park, to Kilkenny GAA, to Kilkenny Camogie, who have made this possible for us here today. I'd like to thank our referee Ray and his team of officials. We say it all the time, it's a thankless task. He did an excellent job today, and I'd like you all to give a round of applause, please, to Ray and to his officials for their job today. I want to pay special thanks to the National Competitions Management Committee under the chairpersonship of Linda Kenny. This is a team of people that are tasked with running all of our national competitions, 16s, minors, 23s, league and championship. The committee is made up of volunteers. They do it all in their own time. And I think it's hugely important that we recognise the work that they do in conjunction with our staff, led by Sinead, our Chief Executive, and our operations staff, led by Bridget. Can I get a round of applause, please, for our staff and for the NCMC committee? I'd like to pay a special thanks to the members of the Defence Forces who joined us here today and did a fantastic job of the parade in front of both of our games. It was a unique opportunity for us to celebrate the Defence Forces. I'd ask you all to give a round of applause, please, to the members of the Defence Forces for the great job they did with us and the great job they do for us every day. And my last thanks are to Electric Ireland, and I'm going to spend just a second on Electric Ireland. Electric Ireland do a fantastic job in sponsoring our minor competition and have elevated the minor Camogie Championship for the last number of years to the top level by virtue of their advertising and the engagement that they put in and the effort they put into it. So can I please ask you not only to give a round of applause but also to give your support to Electric Ireland in recognition of the fantastic job they've been doing in elevating our minor championship. So I have two presentations. The first presentation, as announced earlier, is to the player of the match, and Pat is going to make that presentation to the Kilkenny number 6 for Kennedy. I'd ask the Kilkenny team, I know you're all excited over on the pitch, but if you could come over here to where you're actually going to receive the cup. Your joint captains are wondering where you are. So, without further ado and without further delay, it gives me great pleasure to present the Electric Ireland Minor A Championship Cup to the Kilkenny joint captains.
It's an honour to accept this cup on behalf of the Kilkenny team. For us, it's been a long road from playing underage camogie with Wynga and to winning an All-Ireland county final here in Nolan Park today. There's a number of people we would like to thank that helped us here with our journey. We'd like to thank the referee and his officials. We'd like to thank Kilkenny GAA for hosting these games here in Nolan Park. We'd like to thank the Camogie Association for all their support in organising this minor A competition. We'd like to do special thanks to Kilkenny Camogie and thank you to Teresa Elward and all the county board members for their continuous support during the season. We appreciate all the hard work that goes in behind the scenes, not just today but throughout our whole Camogie season. We'd like to thank Glambia for our sponsorship this season. Their continuous support is greatly appreciated and it doesn't go unnoticed. And as well as that, we'd like to thank the Friends of Kilkenny Camogie who supported this team throughout the season. Your support doesn't go unnoticed and we really appreciate it. Thank you to our supporters and especially our families who have been behind us all the way. If it's home games, driving us to all the trainings, the early mornings and even the back ends of Limerick. Thank you. We would like to acknowledge our clubs. The work that's put in by our coaches is one of the reasons that we are here today, and our club teammates. Thank you. A special thank you to David, Eamon, Paddy, Derek, Pascal, Chloe, our physios, and Kayla for all the hard work and countless hours. It doesn't go unnoticed, and the training has finally paid off. Most importantly, to the panel of girls here in front of me. Their hard work and dedication is the reason me and Kira are receiving the cup. When we look back at the games we've done more, we came out disappointed, and from that point, you can see how much we've grown as a team. The spirit, attitude and determination is always getting better and better. From day one, our goal was to be here, and we have had 59 collective sessions together, and all the hard work has finally paid off. We've created a special bond that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. To the Cork team, thank you for a really good competitive game. We know you're disappointed, but there'll be better days ahead. 3 cheers for Cork. Hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Come back here, pit side, of course. David Maher has his little supporters around him and everything like that. But you're a happy man, I would imagine.
I lost words, to be honest. I don't know what to say. Just unbelievable what the girls have done this year. And you just saw, even in the second half, the way we just powered on. It's just a testament to what they've put in over the last 6-7 months. So happy, yeah.
David, you got everything right though, I would feel. You know, you got that early goal, you had something then to build on, hold on to, especially into a very strong wind that's coming from the city end here, and then you probably trusted your players to go out and have a go at it in the second half. Got a bit of a lucky goal, but that probably then just cemented everything for you then.
Yeah, it did. I think we got 1-2 or 1-1 certainly in the first 3 or 4 minutes, so we were delighted with that. Obviously a great start, but Cork probably got a little bit of a run on us then, I suppose. Their half-hour line, Rachel Murphy and Ava McCall, I think, were dropping out quite a lot, and it was causing our half-back line quite a lot of difficulties. They were getting a run on us. But in saying that, obviously we went in a goal up at half-time. Relatively decent position, I suppose, considering we were against the breeze. But like that, we did kick on. I felt in the first 10 minutes of the second half we were just very, very dominant. The girls are so confident in themselves, and they just powered on from there.
Like, we had to pick a player of the match. You know, we could have picked any of the 15. They were tenacious in everything we said. Crowded out ball. Anytime there was a Cork player, there seemed to be 3 Kilkenny players. But we give it to Una Kennedy. She was just phenomenal, we thought, across that line.
and she's only 17. She's minor again next year. She is being outstanding, and I mean, the guys in her club would tell you she's out practicing frees morning, noon and night down there for the last couple of months, so her work ethic is phenomenal. But like, it wasn't just it's a whole team effort. We've no superstars on our team. The girls are just all completely in it for the good of the group. Like Rachel Phelan, oh god, I could go through the whole team, but no, Ona was outstanding.
But looking at the whole scenario, like Brian Brophy was on commentary with me, he was saying like a number of those girls are in their first year at minor. That bodes well. Obviously, I know you're not thinking about the future now, but it just bodes well for future, doesn't it?
It does. And I know they say the 17-year-olds were obviously being under 16 last year, and they were devastated. I know they got bet by Limerick by a point in the All-Ireland semi-final last year. I know the girls they feel they left that one behind them, but we use that as motivation. And obviously ourselves, the minors last year, we got bet by Tipperary in extra time in the semi-final, and Tip went on to win it obviously last year. So we felt we were always capable of doing something special. If you look back into the group game, bet Dublin drew a Tip and lost to Cork, but we felt we were only going in third gear, and we had a meeting, I think, at training after the Cork game about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we just felt if we click, we were capable of doing something big, and thankfully that happened.
Does it make it all the sweeter you won it on your home pitch?
Definitely. I was saying all week, leading up to the semi-final against Limerick, there was no way we were going to lose that semi-final, because we didn't obviously want a final here in Nolan Park and Kilkenny not involved, so that was obviously a big motivation. But I just want to say, the girls deserve this so much, and their families. We played the quarter-final up in Ballinasloe, 2.5 hours of a spin from here. We played the semi-final down near Abbeyfield in Limerick, which nearly 3 hours of a spin. All their parents, all their families were down there, so I just want to give a huge thanks to the families of the girls for getting them up to training 3 times a week for the last 6 months, and obviously just a big thanks to the girls. I do want to say obviously to the Cork team as well, because we played them in the group stage. They're a serious team. A lot of those girls are going to go on and play a senior camogie for Cork, but look, today I think belongs to the girls, and they deserve it.
Well done, David. You have your own little support network around you here. Probably one of the quietest women I've ever heard on an interview here. I don't know whether you want to say anything. Do you want to say well done, Daddy?
Want to say hello, Rose? You say hello?
Hello.
She's quite she's going to be a camogie player in the future, I would imagine. David, though, this is a nice one to have now ultimately.
Sure it is. This is why we're doing it 3 times a week for the last 6 months, and those girls, they're representing Kilkenny, most of them, for the last 4 or 5 years, and they've dreamed about this, but they've just put the foot down over the last 6 or 7 months, and they deserve all the accolades they get now. They deserve all the praise. I'm not sure, they might be missing in school tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I'm a secondary school teacher, so I probably shouldn't say that, but they deserve to celebrate this and acknowledge this and just cherish it.
Well done, David. You've led them to glory. Congratulations to you. That's David Marden, the Kilkenny manager here. I'm not sure we're going to be able to delve into any of the players there. They're dealing with family, so I think what we'll do is we'll bring our broadcast to an end here from the Electric Ireland minor camogie finals that took place here in UPMC Nolan Park today. Congratulations to Antrim. Fairly facile victory in the end over Laois. They took the minor A shield and back up to minor A proper next year. And then of course Kilkenny on their home turf. Probably lots of people felt it was going to be a little bit closer than it was, but they were quite strong and tenacious in winning the victory in the end. So Kilkenny and Antrim victorious here in Nolan Park today, joining of course the victories of Wicklow and Armagh yesterday. A busy weekend of minor action, all brought to you by Electric Ireland and the Camogie Association. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. For now, we'll be talking about Championship in a few weeks' time. Hopefully you'll be along with us to look forward to that when the senior ball gets up and running. Talk to you soon. Good luck.